Okay, Jess, can you give us a recap?
So, from last week's episode, we threw the tied up drow
D-R-O-W, drow.
drow into the ash pit while we went to sleep. We later found out the drow was called Virit. Is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah.
And then we woke up in the morning, we questioned him, and he said he would offer us assistance into Underdark, specifically a place in Underdark called Skullport. And he said, so basically Skullport is where assassins, thieves, pirates lurk around, and there's a crime boss who resides there called Xanathar. I think we politely declined his offer for the time being, and we let him go because we didn't think that we needed any use from him. And then we continued.
It's basically just if you ever find yourself going there, you can ask him for help if you need it.
So we continued on our journey, and we approached the citadel walls, and we were let in by a woman called Elizabeth. We put the horse...
Lisbeth, but I imagine her full name is probably Elizabeth, yeah.
Lisbeth. We put the horses in the stable, and she led us into the keep, where Eartha was to meet Saria Morton Bloodhawk. So we walk into the keep, and we see a woman who we assume is to be Saria, standing next to an elven man called Lawkeeper. I'm probably pronouncing all this wrong. Lawkeeper.
It's all made up words, so don't feel bad about it.
Yeah. Lawkeeper Faust Amanadel.
That was better than Jackson did 20 minutes ago, so bing, 10 points.
We disrupt their conversation, and Eartha asks her about his brother. Is it Ramus?
Ramas.
Yeah.
Okay. She's very blunt and weird about her answer, just basically saying that he's well and he's on a mission. And then she leaves. We currently wait an hour for Eartha to be knighted, and then Eartha walks down the stairs of the keep to the middle of the keep, while me and Samura look down from upstairs. So Eartha goes through basically this almost like a trial to be knighted. He's kind of joked around with. He's basically put on edge. And then he's told that he has to complete the Trial of Tears starting at dawn tomorrow, which means we have to travel east to Skulldust, where
there is a basically the road you need to follow Thundar's Ride, which is like this not like off-road, but it's not like as well paved as the road you've been on. It's kind of just like a separated dirt road, and you're going to this place called Tempest's Tears, which is where the Skulldust Road and Thundar's Ride like intersect each other. So it'll basically be the first junction you get to. That's where you're going.
Yeah, I had written down. But we need somewhere to stay for the night, so we have to complete chores in order to, like, in exchange for shelter, which we all do separately. Sorry, I'm just trying to figure out where I'm up to.
That's all right.
And then we all meet up back with each other at the building behind the keep, which is the refectory, basically where everyone goes to eat, and we sit at the grand table. And Eartha tells us that he found out from Caitlin that there is a rumour there are 7 keys that belong to Cyric, and the 3rd keysman is Damon, the man who wrote the letter, who wrote that letter that we had found on one of the drows. And basically each person is a captain of that key. So these keys essentially are to open the What did you say it was called again? The
Actually,
Supreme Throne.
Yeah, what she told you. There's some expansion I can do on that, which we'll do a little bit into the session. But yeah, the way basically every god has like their own realm, like their own heavenly or like unheavenly realm that they like rule from, and his is called the Supreme Throne.
So Eartha mentions that to us. So we obviously know that it's not the end of us hearing the name of Cyric, because he's obviously after us, and he wants us dead, basically. And then Samura also mentions that he wants to go to Westgate to meet someone who may know where his father is. So we need to complete Eartha's task and then meet his brother. And then we also need to go to Westgate for Samura's task. And that's basically where it left off.
Yeah, that's perfect. I've got to stop giving you inspiration, because now that you're taking over the things, I can't give it to you infinitely. But that was very good. That's my commendation. We'll pick up. I want to pick up the next day. So I'll just basically how this will work is, so you kind of you wake up the next morning fairly early. Samura, did you want to try and wake up earlier than everyone else? Did you mention?
Yes, to go see Forst and try and get another day's worth of spell working with him.
Cool. Yeah, I'll say that's fine. You don't have to roll for it. You kind of wake up. You know. It's kind of, again, I've said this probably 100 times by now. I should stop saying it. Everyone gets it. But it's just past midwinter, so the sun doesn't rise till like 8 or 9. So you kind of wake up at like 6:30, thinking that'll give you enough time to go get some decent practice in. We won't bother going through it unless. Would you like to ask him more about the task now, or would you like to do that?
Where am I finding him? Am I finding him in the library, or am I finding him in his own quarters?
You wouldn't really be allowed into his quarters. You maybe think like, oh, he might not be up yet, but you'll go check the library first. You get up to the library, and sure enough, you find him just kind of doing what he's always doing, sitting, scribbling something into a notebook.
On my way in, did I see anybody else in the entire building?
There is not in this building. You maybe saw like 1 or 2 people on patrol. You just get the sense he doesn't really. Elves don't sleep. They just kind of
meditate.
Yeah, they just kind of meditate. You get the sense that he doesn't really have much interest in that unless he's like specifically like needs some rest. He just kind of gets on with his work.
I'll try and turn it over when I'll say I didn't see anybody on the way up to the building. Only people outside, no one in. Is there anything else you can tell me about the task you wanted me to do?
He kind of like he keeps scribbling for a moment, almost like he heard you, but it's just like he's gonna finish this before he moves on to the next thing. And you see like his quill just stop, and he kind of rests it on the parchment and looks up, and he kind of just scratches like. He doesn't have like stubble, or maybe he has like the elves don't rarely have beards. He's kind of just got very light stubble, maybe just little bits of grey peeking through, but he's got a very like typically elven, very defined jawline, and he kind of just scratches his chin for a moment, and just so we don't spend too long in this section, I'll just kind of give you the information, not in character as much. He basically tells you that there is a magical artifact of interest in the place you're going anyway, Tempest's Tears. It's called it's referred to as the Stone That Speaks. He describes it as like this nondescript stone, just like a grey lump of rock. It doesn't look special or anything, but it has the spirit of this ancient, powerful wizard like trapped in it. He doesn't really seem. He seems to think like you won't even need to look for it, because this thing's kind of, if someone with if like a wizard is passing through, this thing like communicates with them, like you come and find me, like I can like promises you things, and it just because it wants to be like taken back into the wider world. It doesn't want to be sitting in this ruin. So he seems to think like you don't need to necessarily look for it because it'll probably sense you're a wizard and try and reach out to you anyway. The only thing he kind of gives you some fair warning. He says that the Guardian of Tempest's Tears will not want it removed, and so like when you do locate it, you should be quiet about. That's why he told you specifically and didn't like tell you and your group, because if you want to keep this to yourself for the sake of like completing it, he's fine with that. But yeah, like the Guardian, he just refers to it as the Guardian, and if you try and get more information out of him than that, he just does not share what he means. He just says the Guardian does not want it removed, and so like you'll have to be sneaky about it if you're going to go through with it. He doesn't seem to expect you to necessarily go through with it. He's just telling you like this is an option, and I'd be interested in you recovering this. That's pretty much the gist of what he gets to do. He also gave you the Sending Stone, so you'll be able to freely communicate with him from a distance once every day, should you have the need to.
Right. Okay, yeah, I'll just wait for the rest of the party. I'll say, like, goodbye, like, quite nicely, and then I'll wait for the rest.
So are you working on your spell, or...?
Oh, yeah, I'll work on my spell with them, and then after, like, I'm done with that, I'll go see the party.
Cool, yeah, so I'll say you can get that done. So take off the money you need to spend on components.
Yeah.
And scratch out, like, don't need to keep track of the time, just know it's done. And yeah, you kind of, like, hang around in the dormitories, and Anya and Eartha eventually come to around, like, probably just slightly pre-dawn, probably, like, 7:45, 8. Yeah, you guys come to as well. There's not really much of interest here on my end. So I'll go, Ellis, is there anything you want to do here before you hit the road? Anyone you want to talk to or anything like that?
Not really. I think I just kind of want to get on and get it through.
No problem. Jess, have you got anyone you want to talk to before you depart?
Yes, I think Anya would like to speak to both Eartha and Samura.
Yeah, go for it. So you guys are just kind of getting dressed, like you don't like, you just kind of sleep in like kind of like plain linens, so like you're just kind of like, you're all getting like your boots on. Eartha, you're putting like your chainmail on. Samurai, you don't really have much to do, you're just like tucking in your robe and making sure you look presentable. Yeah, and just while you guys are getting ready, you're the only people in this temporary dormitory. You discuss, go for it.
I think just before I speak for Anya, I think Anya would just turn to Eartha and say, you mentioned yesterday there was 7 keys that belonged to Cyric. Well, I remember seeing a key around Nancy's neck that night at the Ailmain house, and I didn't think it was of any significance then, but it just seems a bit of, well, it seems like something we should have known then, so we could have retrieved it, but I don't know if it's of any help now.
Was she protective of this key? Did she seem like she didn't want to take it or anything?
She kept holding on to it, but I just didn't think anything of it at the time.
Alright. I don't know what we should do with that. Don't know whether to tell Caitlin before we go, or if we just go.
I mean,
for the best.
just to chime in, you guys, unless you guys specifically don't want to, which is totally fine. So Baldur's Gate sits on the river Chianthar, but further up the river is another city called El Torel. If you like, it's significant. Like, obviously, after you're kind of finished up around here, the next place you need to go is Candlekeep, which is south of Baldur's Gate. It's a lot longer, but if you don't want to go through Baldur's Gate again, you can go through El Torel. It's a much longer way to Candlekeep, but it's places you haven't been. But otherwise, you'll probably be heading through Baldur's Gate again if you want to investigate more stuff in Baldur's Gate. But again, the choice is yours. You can go the longer scenic route, or you can go the quicker way you've already been. Up to you guys.
Fair.
If recording the key, we have no proof that it's actually related to the the Cyricist situation. For all we know, it could be a key to just a random drawer or chest in our own room.
That is a fair
Suppose
point.
so.
Yeah, again, the only thing that tickled, like, you don't have any real reason to believe this necessarily. It's just the only reason you connected these dots, Anya, is because it had that strange shape, and it seemingly, obviously you guys didn't explore the house fully, but you explored some of the more important areas, and it didn't seem to be necessarily connected to anything in the house. You just know it looked vaguely important. You don't know if this is why it's vaguely important or if it's something different entirely. You just know everyone's talking about keys, and I saw a weird key. That's kind of the only thing sticking in your mind. Yeah. If that's so you guys go to the stable. The stable master's woken up early because he knew you guys would be heading out today. This dwarf, missing teeth, like a black eye, scratchy black hair. He kind of gets your cart all bartered up to the your horses, and get you guys pack your provisions and everything. Everything was pretty much still on the cart. But yeah, you guys had no one else. Like, it's not like the same as yesterday where the whole clergy gathered around to watch like your initiation. No one comes, not even like any of the, well, especially not any of the more important, like the Bloodhawk. They just they're probably all fast asleep. You kind of see like a few, like the recruits who are like on patrol kind of give you like a polite bow and a little wave as you're heading off on your trial. But yeah, so if we could just some kind of blanket travel information. How are you guys traveling? So you guys have the cart and the two horses. Who's where in the cart? So we'll just go around. Ellis, where do you think Eartha, like what's Eartha doing on the cart?
It would depend. If someone else wanted to drive, he'd probably just be sat in the back. But if no one else wanted to drive, he'd probably be sat in the front.
Samaraw's probably is. Samara and Jade will most definitely be in the back of the cart.
Mm-hmm.
It's more just if Anya wanted to drive, then I'm happy with that.
I'll just sit in the back with Samura.
Well, it looks like Eartha's the driver then.
Yep, that works. So yeah, you guys are in the cart, and now you have at the faster. So basically, you guys need to decide, at least for this first day, what pace you want to be moving at. So if you move at a fast pace, you can cover 30 miles today. But the issue is you'll kind of have, you're traveling quickly. You're not taking in the region. You're more likely to kind of walk into an ambush or something like that. If bandits or creatures have set up something along the road, or maybe miss something just in the vicinity. You can travel at normal pace, which will get you 24 miles, and it doesn't have any bearing. It's just you're traveling at a normal pace. You don't have any negative effects on you. You don't have any positive. Or you can travel at a slow pace. You'll only get 18 miles done, but you'll be able to kind of go. You're going at a nice slow pace, so you'll be able to you're less likely to get ambushed because you kind of have a bit of the advantage. You're taking your time, taking in the environment. So do you guys want to decide what pace you're going at today?
Can I ask how many days will it take at each pace to get to our desired location?
So you can mix and match, but if you were to go fast pace every day, you'd get there in 4 days. If you were to go normal pace every day, you'd get there in 5 days. And if you were to go slow pace, it would take 6.5 days.
I think we should go just like a normal speed. I just think it would be safer.
I agree, that sounds sensible.
I'm perfectly fine with that.
Cool, yeah. So are you guys just gonna every day go to normal pace, not slow down, not speed up?
Yeah.
Cool. We'll just go around in circles then. Ellis, could you roll a Eartha, could you roll a D100? So that's the percentile dice with the 2 numbers on it, and the 10-sided dice with the single numbers on it.
Oh, this could be good. 38.
38. Let's have a look.
I think that's all right, Ellis.
I wouldn't be so sure. He's made this himself, remember?
Yeah, it could just be there to ruin us.
Oh yeah.
Okay, interesting. So, you guys are traveling for about... You've been on the road for like 6 hours now, so it's not quite sundown, but it's like, because you left pretty early, it's kind of in between midday. It's kind of like early to mid afternoon. There's still like the weather's still bitter, though it's kind of like scenic and nice looking. Like the skies are clear. There's just like that chill. And you start hearing like off in the distance like this sound of someone working. And as you kind of get closer, like to the source of the sound, just traveling along the road, as you have been, come across just this. Anya, you don't recognize the person, but you definitely recognize like who they are, if that makes sense. Like you have them pegged. This is definitely a Waterdavian noble. This is like a noble from Waterdeep. He's young, probably about like in like early 20s. He's wearing like noble Waterdavian like a noble Waterdavian garb, like blues, like a nice blazer, kind of an ascot, like white, and you can just see he's like his bottom half, like his like nice trousers are just covered in dirt, and he's kind of like 2 feet down, shovel in hand, just digging a hole off the side of the road. You can see his horse is just like standing on the side of the road, kind of like moves a bit as you guys approach, and he kind of notices you, and just kind of from like 20 feet away gives you like, all right, hello. And he's kind of just digging away, chucking dirt to it in a pile next to it.
Can I do an investigation to see if he's burying or digging something up?
Oh, interesting. Yeah, make an intelligence check.
Can I use inspiration?
Actually, no. I'll give you. Yes, you can, but I'm going to say a survival check rather.
Still using inspiration. 13.
13.
Yeah.
Okay. You get the sense, I'll say it's not particularly hard. You get the sense you don't see anything lying around, and you see he doesn't really seem to have an aim. He seems to just be digging, like in general. Like he's just kind of digging. And you maybe notice like there's a few other holes. He looks like he's like test pitting. Like he's just kind of digging around to see, like he's looking for something more like... I'll say he's probably more addressing you, Eartha, or the one driving the wagon. So like, Anya's probably like kind of sorting out her pack and like maybe fiddling with her instrument. Samura's probably just kind of idly talking to Jade, and Jade's just like nodding at her helmet. And like, so you're the only one that's like, you're looking forward, you've got eyes on the horses. He's kind of addressing you mainly.
You alright there, buddy?
He's just kind of, you see him like shiver, he's like, awful weather for digging. Yeah. And he just kind of strikes the ground again, and he's like, are you here searching as well?
What are you searching for?
Actually, Eartha, make a history check, but with disadvantage.
Okay, I see he's gone badly already. Oh, well, it was double 4, but that is a 7.
7. Actually, Anya, could you make a history check with advantage? So roll twice and use the higher, because this is kind of relates to Waterdeep, so it makes sense that you might have an inkling.
Five.
5. You guys aren't really sure. He kind of just, he looks really tired, like he's kind of got dirt on his face, his pants are especially dirty, and he kind of steps out of the hole for a second and like plants the shovel in the ground, and he's like, well, it's an old tradition for Waterdeep. No, and he kind of says the word noble, and then realizes like he has no idea who you random guys are, and he's alone with a horse, and he's like, no, noble attituded families to send their younger ones to try and find their fortune. and a lot of people come here. A lot of hastily buried dead in the ground. So you never know what you might find. And he kind of strikes the ground again. Ellis, can you roll a D100 again to see what he finds?
Do you want the individual number? Oh, I need the other one, don't I? That's a 52.
52? Oh, no.
Skeletons come out of everywhere.
I think I've just killed a man. Unintentionally this time.
This time.
Page 435. Okay.
Oh no.
One more thing for you to roll, Ellis. Could you roll a... let me find the number. I have to find the page. Yeah. What was your number again? 52, was it?
Yeah.
Could you roll just a D10, the one that goes 1 to 10, or 1 to 0, or 0 to, that.
1.
1.
1.
He kind of like, he's idly talking to you, and he's like, oh my god. And he kind of just drops the shovel and it clanks to the ground. It kind of makes like a thudding noise because like the grass is all frosted and brittle. And he kind of like crouches down into the pit, and you see him pull out this fine golden chain with this like large fire opal like hanging from and he kind of just pulls it out, and he's looking at it, and he's like, oh my god, and he's kind of like he's holding the fire opal up to the sun, like shining its rays through it. You can all make a perception check on it.
All of us.
Yeah.
30.
30. Yeah.
6.
6.
13.
13.
No, sorry, 10.
Okay. 10. Okay. Samaran, and you're just not really paying attention. Like, you're like, oh, there's someone there. And you're kind of getting back to whatever you're doing. If you're like looking at this, and like, this thing is like valuable. You would, like, you're not like trained, like, you're not a jeweler, but that thing looks worth like 2,500 gold pieces. Give it like in the ballpark of that. Like, that is like that is and it's not, maybe even more, because that, if it was just like a gold, like a chain made of gold fire opal, but this thing's probably ancient as well. It's probably from like some long lost buried dead. This thing is like a valuable piece, and he is just like slavering over it. Would you like to do anything, I guess, is the question.
Is it against my religion to steal?
I don't think, no, not necessarily. Your religion is kind of about strategy, so if stealing gets you somewhere, if assassination and plotting and scheming and thieving, those things that like a lot of gods would consider taboo, if that gets you ahead for your goals, like if stealing something valuable to get you money to buy armor, weapons, that's very holy.
Because I don't want to kill him, but I have a sleep necklace, which could possibly put him to sleep, and I could just take it off his body.
This guy looks flimsy. Like, you think he doesn't have, like, in Ellis terms, this guy doesn't look like he has a lot of hit points.
Say the word. If you tell Samura's plenty of fine to kill him.
No, I mean, this guy, like, if you were to use the sleep thing, you'd have to roll really low to not knock him out. So, what are you feeling? Everyone else is kind of preoccupied. They're in their own world. I don't think you're stopped. You're just kind of like you've just moved to like a snail's pace while you're seeing what's going on. What would you like to do if they're separate?
Do I have any like spare bit of jewelry on me?
I don't, not except like the amulet of sleep. That's all you've got on you, like jewelry wise. Again, though, this guy doesn't look like he's not. If you were a good, like, I could say, because you can, like, he's a noble. He looks very out of place. You can see him. This guy, in game terms, doesn't look like he's full of hit points. Like, you think you'd have to be very bad with that sleep amulet to not get him down in one.
So what I'm thinking is... Actually, hang on. Does the spell command work if they're awake? Do they have to be... If a creature is asleep, can it still make a wisdom saving throw, or does it automatically fail? Or can it just
If
not
it's
make
asleep.
it? Yeah, or does the spell just not work?
No, like it fails everything if it's asleep.
So if I commanded it to do something, it would instantly fail when it's asleep.
Oh no, because it couldn't carry out a command if it's asleep.
Yeah. That's my problem.
You know you have teammates you could turn to and try and ask for help.
Well, no, because I can easily knock them out. I don't know if I want to do it or not yet. But I'm gonna say fuck it, and I'm gonna use a sleep amulet on him.
Cool. Yeah. So you kind of like, you see him like he's just like forgotten you are there. Like he's holding up this fine amulet, this gold chain with the fire opal. He's just holding it up to the sun, just salivating completely, like he's lost in it. And your hand like slips up to your chest, and you just grip the amulet of sleep. What number did you?
I'm figuring out how much it actually does. So that is.
Yep.
5d8, right.
To be honest, Alice, if you get above 30, you're well in the clear, I'm pretty sure.
Let's just hope I get well above
I don't think
30.
he doesn't have to roll a hit. He just rolls the.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean, though. Like, the HP to sleep. If he rolls above 30, he's well in the clear, I think.
Oh yeah, this guy is squishy. This guy is just
How squishy is
some
squishy?
prep school boy.
Is 20 squishy enough?
20 is slightly more than double squishy, and
That's
So-
alright.
So we
you
had like
kind of,
9 at 8.
your hand just like slips up to your chest, and you just kind of grip the amulet. And Anya and Samurai, you just kind of like look over off the road, and you see this guy holding it up, and he just goes like, and he just like falls to the ground, and like the amulet's just lying there on the floor. I take it you hop off the wagon.
Yeah, I'm gonna put the amulet in the bag of holding.
Before he does that, can I go? I can identify if it has any magical properties.
Go ahead. I'm also gonna drop 87 silver next to him.
Very nice. Yeah, you kind of take out a pouch, like one of your spare pouches. You fill it with some silver, and you drop it like on his chest, and you just take the amulet, toss it around a bit, stick it in the bag of holding. So that is a gold chain and fire opal necklace with 2,500 gold pieces approximately. You might, if some places you might get less, some places you might get more. You are casting Identify, correct, Jackson?
I was gonna cast Detect No, I'll just cast Identify on the thing itself. It takes, I believe it takes an hour. Give me a second, I'll check. Yes. Casting time, a minute.
Oh, a minute, cool. Yeah, so like if hops back on the cart, chucks you the bag of holding, and you fetch it out. You identify it. Doesn't seem to have any magical properties. It's just very valuable. And you drop it back in the bag of holding, put it next to Aether on the cart. Yeah.
I feel so
Cool.
bad
So
for
that's Nick. It furthers your goal. It's Aether might feel bad as just like a moral person, but like in terms of like you are lawful good, I believe.
Lawful
But
neutral.
like technically, like if you think about like this is probably the way I think Aether would think about it. Out of nowhere and for no really no, a powerful god has decided that you're like enemy number one, and so you kind of need the money more than this already rich idiot does. So I don't think Aether needs to feel bad in terms of religion, but if you want him to, that's fine.
No, I think it's more just
So
like a
that's
moral
today.
thing.
That's yeah. So that's today's encounter.
1 minute, 1 minute. Before,
Yeah.
how much gold was it worth? I'll just quickly write it down as well.
I've written it down. It's
2,000.
2,500.
Okay, right. I'll not write it down.
I've also put it in the bag of holding inventory that I've got in the back. Which
After I identify it, by the way, I'll just obviously just throw Ufa back the bag of holding. We're fitting.
Cool. So you guys didn't roll a combat encounter. There's only one encounter per day, so the night passes uneventfully. But the way it's working, just for future reference, are you guys doing watches, or are you just having Jade stand watch during the night?
I've got Jade and Abba on either side of my tent, personally.
So just for future reference, Anya, Eartha, do you guys want to be waking up and taking watch at any point during the night, or are you happy to let Jade and Abba kind of watch the...
I'll wake up every now and then and check, because obviously we know how great their perception is.
Fair enough, yeah. We'll say you can take like the third watch position, kind of wake up before everyone else, kind of earlier in the morning to make sure. Yeah, we'll keep going. We'll move around. So Jackson, can you roll the D100? So that's the 2D10.
Oh no!
And we'll see what you get.
19.
19.
Oh, this better be a good one, Jackson. I'm good.
To be fair, I could have rolled a 1. Oh, he just said, "Oh my god, there's gonna be a dragon or something."
It's just. Wow. Okay. Oh, sorry, I'm looking on the wrong. Okay, that's why I was confused. I was looking on the treasure table. Okay. 19 was it? Sorry.
Mhm.
Okay. Oh no, this one's another nice one. So which one would that be?
I'm scared.
Okay. Just kind of like the only notable thing that happens on this. No, that's incorrect. Before we get to the encounter, on your second day traveling, Samura, you hear a familiar voice kind of resonate in your mind. You recognize someone is casting the sending spell to you, but it's not from the stone. You hear a voice. My friend, this is Rivelin. I am in Port Nyanzaru, attempting to deliver the letter you left in my care. Selu is no longer here. You would know the sending message. Whoever casts the message gets 25 words, and you have 25 words to respond with.
Right, okay. Top of my head, what would Samurai that was said? I'm sorry for inconvenience. Is his dad there? If not, Dragon Turtle? Say from Samurai?
Like 9 words left if you want to use them.
Just thank
You
him
don't have
for
to.
being
You
there.
don't have to.
Just thank him for being there. You know, he's travelled all that way for you.
Thank you so much for trying to help.
You would know to get to Port Nyanzaru on a ship takes at least 30 days. He probably teleported there.
Yeah. But still, I'll say thank you. I'll say like the last 9 words after I've said like go at the dad or go at the dragon turtle and say it's from me. I'll say like the last 9 words. Thank you so much. Still.
He says, yes. His father Modi answered the door. He said that Selu left a 10-day or so ago. He isn't fully sure why. Thinks maybe looking for you.
Oh, I didn't tell him why I left.
This is the thing. You immediately recognize he doesn't know what ship you got on. He doesn't know you went to Baldur's Gate. He could be anywhere in the... He probably just got on a random ship and hoped you... Because he has no way of knowing which... Like, where you'd be going.
Do I know where ships from Chult go. Like
Oh, they go, like,
all
primarily-
port locations.
primarily Baldur's Gate. Not as much Ammon. Like I said, there's some colonial bad blood there. Primarily Baldur's Gate at the moment, but they also go to Waterdeep, Neverwinter, Luskan, which is like one of the furthest north main city. Sometimes they go to Icewind Dale, but usually they stop in other places. They go to some of the islands that are around there. There's a big island called Lantan. There's there's tons of islands, archipelago. Like Baldur's Gate is certainly the most likely, but there is a ton of other options. Like it's probably like 20% Baldur's Gate, 80% anywhere else.
How many? Just as like a, if you have an exact number, that would be great. But like, if not, don't worry about it. Out of all the place names the boats typically go, like how many words would that exactly be, if you know, or like have a guess?
So what do you mean?
Like all the other port, like including every single port location, like my best friend could have went to. Like how many words would that be?
It just however you say it, really. It really just comes down to the main cities along the Sword Coast. That's Baldur's Gate, Waterdeep, Neverwinter, Luskan.
And he's obviously sent a second sending spell to send me another 25 words, so I can reply, can't I?
Yeah. You don't know how many spell slots he has at this level, though, so you don't know how many more he can send.
Oh no. Oh.
So you've got another 20 words to respond with, yeah.
Can I ask my friends to help me?
I don't think so. This is like happening in your mind, like you're having this conversation in your mind. If you wait too long, the spell will kind of fizzle and you won't get your response.
Right. If you don't mind, could you go into jungle and find Aarakocra, Icky, or tribe to tell Icky I Selu. Is that 20 or 25?
20.
Oh, if it's 20, I'll say I'll find Selu to get to 21. And I'll say...
Yeah.
And I'll say, thank you, Riverland. That's 25, isn't it?
Yeah. You get another message come through. You just hear, Icky, yes, she's gone too. They left a 10-day or so ago. Modi doesn't know. Selu left during the night. He is worried. Update him when can.
Sorry. He was worried. I'm in shock.
Selu disappeared and his father doesn't know where he's gone.
I'll reply. Tell.
Basically, I'll just give you the gist because I'm talking in a voice. Selu and Icky have left to go and look for you because you disappeared pretty quickly. And all Selu told to his father was that they were going after you. He didn't say where they were going. You probably know as Samurai. That's probably because they didn't know where they were going. They probably just ran their luck and got on the first ship, hoping it was the same ship to the same place you got to. They knew you were going overseas. You kind of probably like filled them in very briefly and then you ran off. And then that was like the last you saw them.
Okay, 1 minute. Jackson's about to break into floods of tears here. Oh my god.
Let's bring this on you. One of these encounters so you can think about it.
Oh, what a fucking issue Samurai is. So I've got another sending spell.
Samurai, it's not Jackson.
Yeah, but Jackson's about to cry, and I think Samurai is too. Like, Samurai's face at this point is
Samurai is probably panicking quite bad, I'd imagine.
It's like sudden shock, panic. Like, he is no longer on the cart. He is flying in midair and just, like, spinning. Trying to, like, think, like, where could they be? Where could they be?
I like that image. Like, you're looking around, like, maybe I'll see them if I get high enough.
Yeah. He's just, like, bolting as far up as he can, just trying to look.
You guys see him like a swamp fly just like darting around like the cart and like flying up and like looking around, and you can his face looks like he's having a conversation, but you see his mouth is maybe like moving slightly, but not enough to like emit sound. But we'll finish off this. So you have another 25 words to respond with.
Tell father, so sorry. I'll find them. Thank you so much. I'll fix this. Promise him. And return them.
Hopefully.
Cool. You don't get a response. You know Rivlin, he's probably a little bit more powerful than you, but not particularly more. You think he's probably out of 3rd level spell slots. Or 4th level. I could check, but I know he has many in whatever level. I'm pretty sure it's 3rd level. Yeah. So you think he received the message, the response, so he can pass that on. So
you've put me at such an impasse, because I don't know if Samara would continue on his journey, or if Samara would straight up leave the party right now to go find them.
Well, you've got no idea where they've gone. If they went anywhere, if they went anywhere but Baldur's Gate, it would take you months to get there anyway. You've got no idea where.
I mean, think about it this way, buddy. They left 10 days ago. It takes 30 days to get to Baldur's Gate. I mean, we've got an extra 20 days to get there and back to wait for them, just in case they do come to Baldur's Gate.
So
you could hope they're going to Baldur's. If they haven't went to Baldur's Gate, if they went anywhere else, they're a world away anyway. And no matter what direction you go in, and it's going to take. Baldur's Gate is the quickest port they can get to. You have no venue about, and without some more powerful spells like locate person. I'm not sure what the radius even is on that, but like locate person, sending, you could communicate with them, but it's a higher level spell. Without more powerful magical means at the minute, you don't, and you can't communicate with someone that you're not familiar with. So you couldn't even ask Rivlin to contact them because he doesn't know them. So yeah, you are kind of like a fish out of water right now. You rolled a 19. You're kind of panicking. They know what's going on, so we don't have to go through that. I imagine they probably try and calm you down a bit as they keep riding.
I will say literally what I said to him like 2 seconds ago. The fact that yes, they might be going to Baldur's Gate, but you have at least 20 days.
Samara's like genuinely having like a serious breakdown, like he is in floods of tears.
I have a question, buddy. Do you have a located object?
Nope.
Doesn't matter. Ignore that.
Also, they aren't an object.
As soon as you,
they might have an object on them.
Yeah, as soon as you finished that mental conversation with Rivlin, we'll just say you regurgitate, like you just kind of fast talked everything that you learned. You said these names, Icky, Salu, they don't know who you're about, but you think they'll get it from reference, like they're people I know, it doesn't matter. And you just kind of regurgitate it out and they can offer what help they can. But your random encounter for the day is a wandering priest of Ilmater offers a blessing to the party. So Ilmater is the god of suffering. You help the halflings who worshipped Ilmater in their crypt problem with the carrion crawler. You meet another, we won't go too deep into it because it doesn't matter too much, but you meet just a traveling priest of Ilmater who gives you each a blessing. So you each have 5 temporary hit points that won't go away in a long rest. They're just 5 temporary hit points and they go away when you get damaged. So Jess, for you, there should be a box underneath your hit points that says temporary hit points.
Nice roll, Jackson.
You write 5 in there, and next time you get hit, take them away from there first before you go into your actual health.
What can I say? I'm pretty good.
So yeah, same thing for the night. So Jess, can you roll a random encounter? So can you roll the D100? So that's the 2 D10s. One of them will have like 0, 0, 10, 20, 30, 40 on them, and the other one will just have 1 to 10.
Once, just roll it once.
Yeah, so there should be 2. Roll them together.
whilst this is going on, can I make sure Samura's doing alright, that he hasn't just run off in the middle of the night, making sure he's still...
Samura for like, at minimum for like 2.5, 3 days is like, eyes wide open every single night, like sleeping enough, but like just enough. Like he is working his arse off to try and find them.
Mm-hmm.
So I rolled this one and this one, yeah?
Are they both 10-sided?
Yeah.
I think so.
So one of them should have like double-digit numbers on it.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
So roll them together.
Yeah, and then tell me what the 2 numbers are.
33.
33. Oh my god. Lucky ducks. Okay. You come across a familiar sight, but kind of twisted. Instead of it being a male Watadavian noble, you come across a female Amnian noble. And now, from context clues, the Watadavian noble families send their young people to like go and try and find their own fortune in places where there's probably wealth just buried around. You take it that Amnian people do the same. So we'll just assume the same thing kind of happens, where she's kind of like digging and she kind of gives you like a sly wave. Jess, can you roll those 2 dice again?
She finds dirt.
Good thing I kept the amulet then, isn't it?
81.
What was it, sorry?
81.
Oh, Jesus. Okay, that's high.
That's a good thing.
Oh my
That's a good...
God.
That's gotta be
You
good.
do not...
Now-
Alice, I rolled a 19 and it was good. The high numbers could be bad.
But for this, the higher numbers must mean better objects.
That is not true. If 19 was bad...
I told him in the break that, like, I'll tell you this, while I'm finding it, you're now you're in the upper end of... You're in the mid-tier of magic items.
That is much better than our level. We need this. I can identify it. I don't mind wasting a slot.
Sorry, the book is fighting me. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, Jess, roll it one more time.
Are we just gonna rob another person?
How many sleeps can you cast? That's the question.
A few a day. It's a new day, my guy.
Just quiet a second. What was that, sorry, Jess?
Roll both of them again.
Yeah.
Oh, 4.
4 total.
Yeah.
Okay, that means... Oh my god, okay. You get a spell scroll of 8th level. So you can't cast it. You have a potential to be able to cast it, but it's like you're not 8th level spellcasters, so you can't really do it. But like I think you can use it, but there's a chance it might fail. Let me grab the player's handbook and I'm going to pick a random 8th level spell.
Oh shit.
I
What
honestly...
any of this means.
We'll put it this way.
So, like...
The maximum spell level we have at the moment is 2nd level. 8th level is something you get at maybe 18, like level 18.
No, you get it at like level 15, 16, and we're level 4.
My sheet still says I'm level 3.
Yeah, mine too, but I
thought you were to change it, but...
Yeah, I forgot that you wrote the number at the top. So I've changed everything else on it, I just haven't put that down yet.
I'm gonna go off the wizard spell list because they have the most diverse spell list. So 8th level, I'm just gonna move my finger and pick one. Okay, bam. Okay, that is a scroll of Dominate Monster.
Who can cast it? Like, what can cast it?
I'll get it. I just randomly picked it. Dominate Monster. Okay. Okay, Player's Handbook. It doesn't do that helpful thing where it tells you what
Bard,
class to use
Sorcery, Warlock, and Wizard. So me and Jess.
Okay, I'll just give it a quick read. You attempt to beguile a creature that you can see within range. It must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or be charmed by you for the duration, which is concentration up to 1 hour. If you or creatures that are friendly to you are fighting it, it has advantage on the saving throw. While the creature is charmed, you have a telepathic link with it as long as the two of you are on the same plane of existence. You can use this telepathic link to issue commands to the creature while you are conscious. No action required, which it does its best to obey. You can specify a simple and general course of action, such as attack a creature, run over there. Basically, if you succeed, you get complete control over a creature. And a creature is like anything, any enemy or ally. That's a creature. I'll say we'll save that because I imagine once Samura realizes what this is, no matter what the thing is, you're gonna we'll say you identified it early because I just told you what it is earlier than you doing it because I think you're probably gonna try and get it no matter what. So you see this young Amnian woman kind of fall to her knees and dig this thing out the ground, and Samura, you would recognize it as a spell scroll case, almost like a map case but smaller, specifically for a spell scroll, and it looks ancient. Like the leather looks really worn. And she kind of like pops the lid, and you see this parchment kind of fall out, and she's like looking at it, and she's just like giggling to herself madly. Also, even if the spell isn't particularly useful to you, you'd probably be able to sell this for thousands.
I want to turn around to the other two and just kind of give them a look to see if they approve of what I'm about to do.
I'll nod. It's magic. It's magic. I'm perfectly happy, more than happy for you, dude.
If Samurai nods, I'm gonna turn to gonna turn to Jess and just give it another look.
I think Anya would just be like, yeah, like, yeah, of course,
Money's
it'd be
money.
really helpful.
Then I'm gonna look back to the poor woman, and
She's just like mumbling, like, "Can you believe it? Can you believe it?"
No, I can't.
Yeah, go for it.
Cast sleep.
Yeah, roll some hit points. Just because you already did this encounter basically once, it's 9 hit points that you're trying to meet because they both use the noble stat block.
Okay, well I've met that after 3, but we'll keep going.
No point. Keep going.
No, I want to see what I get. I got 26.
You see how 26, yeah. So she, same as last time, she like finally gets to her knees, like brushes them off, and she's like, "This is it," and she just like falls to the ground unconscious, like loudly snoring. Eartha just like hop, skips, and jumps over there and like picks it up. Are you leaving this one anything?
A single gold piece.
Yeah, you flick a gold piece onto her chin.
I'm sure she only thought it was just a bit of paper. I mean,
yeah. It's probably cursed.
I have some paper.
Well, Samurai will identify it, and then
Can I take this? I'm assuming the scroll is wrapped with a nice ribbon, right? Inside the box.
It's probably like it'll be sealed.
Can I take it out the box? Look at it,
Well,
and then use a bit of paper that I've got from the Explorer's Pack and try to replicate it, and then just leave the scroll without the wooden box, like obviously the piece of paper.
I'll say, just to save time and because like with your background and stuff, kind of who you are, I'll say you draw like not like a super convincing thing, but like she didn't even get a good look at it, so you like copy some of the most important bits and you shove it back and you just leave it lying on top of it and you hop back on the card.
Can I copy the spell into my spell book?
Yeah, but you can't cast it.
Yeah, but it'll only cost me 50 gold, won't it? Or is it 50 gold a level?
50 gold a level.
Then I'm not. I'm alright.
But you can keep it until later. You don't have to do it right now. I mean, I'm pretty sure. I'd have to look this up. You probably don't need it this session, so it's not really an issue. Oh, you probably wouldn't want to waste it on anything you might fight this session. But like, yeah, sorry.
So we can keep it, but we can't use it.
It's
We
too
can
powerful
use it,
for you. This
but
is the thing.
There's a very high chance it fails.
Yeah, you can't cast 8th level spells. You can cast 2nd level spells.
Do you know
You
how long
can't
it
cast
takes
8th level spells.
Do you know how long it takes to create that spell?
Create the spell. Yes, I do.
No, I mean the actual scroll.
He's not talking about that. He doesn't know that.
Oh, to copy the scroll up into my spell book takes only.
No, I mean to actually create.
He's not talking about that.
To create this scroll and how much the scroll costs to create. It's a bit different to making a spell. It's like allowing someone else to use it.
Right now.
It takes
No, I don't.
32 work weeks, and it costs 50,000 gold pieces to make an 8th level one.
Well, it'll probably only cost 20k to actually, sell it.
I'll have a look, because I'm curious about how much it's going to cost.
Yeah,
to
here you go.
sell.
If the spell is in your class's spell list, but of a higher level than you can normally cast, you must make an ability check using your spell casting ability to determine whether you cast it successfully. The DC equals 10 plus the spell's level on a failed check. So, for you at the minute, like Samara, if you try to cast it, the DC would be 18. You would have to meet 18 to be able to cast it.
Do I get a plus? Is it like intelligence
Spell
or
casting
is it?
ability.
Yeah.
So what? I get my +7 because that's my spell
So you have
casting
to
ability
roll
modifier.
At least 11 to get it. Yeah.
No.
It's just the thing. Like it's
Actually-
more. It's slightly. It's likely you'll succeed, but it'll like burn away and be gone. Like
I
destroy
know
and
it-
dissipate.
Knowing my luck of the dice, it's likely it'll fail.
Well, yeah. So yeah, it's just the thing. The thing is, the spell that's written on here is far more powerful than you are used to casting. So it's
Yeah.
you probably this is something you want to hold on to. It's just an item. It goes away when you use it.
Yeah. I'm thinking I'll turn the rest after I identified it. I'll go like, this is magic far beyond my reach. But it's worth a tremendous amount of gold.
So what you're saying is we've got 2 things worth a lot of gold.
I'll tell you now, this is probably worth at least 10 times the amount your necklace is.
I'm hearing a lot of shiny new armor for people, along with a lot of shiny new weapons.
And a lot of shiny new mounts.
I know we can get some griffins and hippogriffs from.
I know where we can get some pterodactyls and triceratops.
The fuck is one of those? Yeah, but my character
you
wouldn't.
No, I think they just exist in this world.
Oh, but would I have heard of them from where I am?
You probably haven't seen one, but like you would.
Chult is
know
well
they
known.
exist.
Mm.
Yeah.
Hey,
yeah, you've probably never seen one though.
Back in Port 9 Zaru, a triceratops alone is only 200 gold. Maybe 500 at most.
And how long does it take to get to your home?
From a
30
boat
days on
from
the ship.
Baldur's Gate, only about 30 so days.
If it's stormy weather as well, which in the winter is likely, probably closer to 50 or 60.
Talk about this when we're done, but these cards are not off the table. I'm telling you that now, buddy.
You know how, I think this will be like a real moment for Samara because he usually hates to give up magic, but he'll be like, I can't guarantee I won't try and cast it, especially if we're in a struggle. And I'll hand it over to Ufa to put in his bag of holding.
I'm just gonna be a bit shocked. Gonna be like, oh okay. Just kind of slide it in the bag. Along with all the other
You kind of get it, like,
stuff.
just looking at it, like, you can tell just from, like, the state of the parchment it's on. This thing is, like, clearly from some long forgotten battle that some wizard or some spellcaster never managed to get off during the fight. And, his bones are probably, like, a few feet deeper than that. Like, this is, like, from some long forgotten war. And, yeah. Cool. We'll skip the night. Eartha, roll the next encounter. This is day 4, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's
94.
94.
I don't know if that's going to be good or bad.
Ooh.
Uneventful. Nothing happens during the day. So it's kind of just a boring day on the road. Mara, by the way, have you been doing any work on spells at all? Or
Yes. I
got to note them on the day.
honestly, I completely forgot about writing them down. Is it okay if I backtrack or not?
Yeah, we'll say yeah, because we're still getting used to the new rules of it.
So what?
yeah,
are
we'll say.
are we
you've
4
done 2
days in?
Other than the one. Yeah, but the first day you had help from Forced.
So technically, I've got 2 days, including today, and then also today, which is 3 days.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Well,
that
no,
leaves.
you've done 4. It's 4 days. The first day you had forced, and then another day, and now you're on today.
Right. Okay, so if I include today, that's 3 days down, isn't it? After forced.
Yeah, but if you're doing it on a day, you need to take the gold off your.
Yeah. I've got the gold calculated. That's fine.
Cool. Yeah. So you've been working away at creating some spells for your spell book as you're traveling. Yeah. Today, uneventful. Nothing particularly interesting happens. And Jackson, do you want to roll us the day 5 if you've just been continuing to travel at a normal pace?
Yeah.
I swear to God, if you get combat on this day, after we've had such good luck so far,
I think it's only fair.
Get lost, okay? Like, you can't say, like, oh, the odds are most likely you're gonna roll combat, but now if you get it, you suck. Like, that's not fair.
no, it's very fair.
Oh no. 17. I've had bad rolls every single time we've played.
That is a... Okay. You see, like, you kind of start and like drive by a large group of armored people, like men and women, various races, about 5 or 6. You will say 6, kind of armored men and women. They look kind of brutish, and if as you're driving, one of them kind of shouts up. One of them kind of puts a hand on your horse, and the horse kind of instinctively kind of stops, and the other one matches. And he looks up to you and he's like, "You're using my road without paying for it, mate."
I'm gonna look around. There's nothing saying it's your road.
Can I, at this point, obviously I'll be aware, so can I prepare, like, save an action to cast Chromatic Orb?
Yeah, sure. But so he kind of like looks back at his group. You just got to pay the toll, is all.
And how much is said toll?
Kind of his eyes wander back to his group again, and they shout different numbers out. And he goes, "No, 30 gold."
How many is in this group, just out of curiosity?
6.
Okay.
You see, buddy, we don't have 30 gold. We're trying to get to the next place so we can make some gold, you know? How about this?
Make a deception check, because you have so much wealth now.
I am quite deceptive. That's a 17.
No, deception.
Yeah, I said deceptive. Is that not what
Oh, I thought you
deception
said
is?
perceptive.
Oh, no,
I
deceptive.
thought you said perceptive. Yeah, 17 was it?
Yeah.
You kind of... Well, I'm nothing if not gracious, so we'll call it 15.
Like I said, no gold. Got a few copper.
If I'm hearing this, can I flick 2 silver to Ufa?
I can give you 27 copper on top of that, buddy. That's all I've got, you know?
I'll flick 2, if I hear it, I'll flick 2 silver to Ufa and go, that's the last of my silver left.
With Samura helping you there, if make a persuasion check with advantage.
The 17.
17.
Yeah.
You dare ruin Ocellus, and I'll kill you.
He kind of sneers one more time, like a big... And he puts his hand out to take it.
Yeah, so 2 silver, 27 copper.
He kind of pockets it, and he like hits the horse on the rump and says, "Well, safe travels then." And him and his friends just keep stomping down from the way you came. Okay.
I want to wait till it's about like 100 meters down the road. I'm going to turn around to those two and go, we're fucking losers. Just keep going.
Yeah, you've got so much money.
Yeah. I mean, Ellis, you haven't shared up the horse gold yet, have you? From when you
I
got
did.
the collection.
Yeah, I did.
How much did we get each?
Let me check. Because we got quite
Just
a bit.
because I remember you told us, and I said keep it until you buy the horse.
Yeah, I know, but then after we bought the horse, I split it up, and it split perfectly.
Yeah,
What
yeah,
it
you
split
did.
to?
Let me check.
Just because I've had like about 160 gold from the start of this campaign.
I think it might have been 75.
135.
That sounds.
It was 135. No, wait.
Yeah, just there's no way I had like 20 gold at the start of this campaign, so clearly I didn't add it.
It was 135, wasn't it? I'm pretty sure it's 135. Yeah, because we've got
Right.
530 gold, 150 gold, that equals 630. We got rid of 90, because that was the horse and the carriage. So yeah, and then split, yeah. It must be.
And the encounter didn't involve any nighttime stuff, so you.
I'll work. Is that third day on the spell, right?
No, so this is the end of your 4th day.
Like, I'm not including the day with the Blade Singer.
Then yeah. This is
Okay, right.
the day without Forced's help. Yeah. So night is uneventful. You get comfortable night's sleep. Doing any like rituals like Ellis, you wake up a bit earlier, make sure everything's all right. Back up the camp, keep heading. So it's on. You're like expecting to get to where you're going today, and pretty early on, you come across something that immediately strikes you as strange. You come across this kind of it becomes foggy. You're not in the fog yet, but it's very clearly just this set area that is covered in this perpetual fog. Like as you're riding along the road, you can see almost like this wall of fog that just blocks. It's not like a wall; it's more like a dome. You just can't see. Like it's so large, you can't see the curling, so it kind of looks like a wall as you're approaching it. But
Can I?
Yeah.
Can I at this point use my sending stone for the day? Obviously, I'm thinking. Obviously, we've had a long rest every single day here, so I've got all my spell slots, haven't I?
Yeah.
So I'm going to use my sending stone for the day because I think it's more than 120 meters to the cathedral.
It doesn't use a spell slot.
I know. I'm just double checking on that. To be honest, I can only use the sending stone once a day, can't I?
Yeah.
So I'm going to use it for the day. I'm going to send a message saying, how many words have I got? 25, right? Yeah, okay. So I'm going to use it by 25 words and say, hello at fogged.
Are you doing this in front of them?
Yeah, I'm going to do it in front of them.
So you
Hello.
guys gotta probably wonder what's going on.
At fogged area. Don't know if magical. Any advice, say now. Can't get contact from now. I'll look out for it. Thank you. So that's 24 words, I believe.
Yeah. You hear a pretty quick response. Yes. The area is covered in failing wards that keep it shrouded in a perpetual fog. You're there. He should reach out to you when you get close.
Okay.
So Eartha, Anya, he just whips out this stone and starts speaking into it, and then you hear the elf's voice come through it a moment later. You can choose to let it go, or you can question it if you like.
I'm gonna think about it for a second, and then I'm gonna hold off with all the shit that I've done on this journey so far, in hopes that it doesn't come up later on.
Yeah. Anya, are you saying anything, or are you just letting it lie?
Probably just casually say to Samura, like, what is that you've got there?
He helped me with a job or two, creating a spell I was interested in making. So he asked me to, try and gather something. I'm just trying to return a favor.
See.
Cool. Then with that, you guys kind of spur the horses on again, and you enter the fog. The fog isn't like abrasive, like it's not as thick as it could be. Probably like more than 20 feet ahead of you, your vision's starting to get like obscured. Like you can still see 20 feet ahead of you. It's just kind of like things are getting like blurred a bit. But like immediately once you're in here, you notice like just a change in the atmosphere. Well, first of all, you start to realize what it's covering. So as you enter, you see like by the roadsides, there are just these crumbled walls. And like the more you progress along, like there's like a whole ruined city in here, like in this fog bubble. There's just like these crumbled walls and towers. None of them are strewn onto the road. The road isn't like a main road, it's a back road. Like the Thundar's Ride and Skulldask Road. They're used, but they're not like main roads. So people only come here if they're like willing to risk some of like the dodgy back road stuff. So like the roads are clear. There's no like ancient bricks or anything sprayed across the roads. You don't have to move anything to keep progressing. It's just like this quiet ruin along each side of the road as you progress. And everyone make a perception check.
Okay.
Ellis?
32.
32. Jackson?
7.
7. Jess?
17.
What was it, sorry?
17.
17. Okay. Jess, you kind of get that... Samurai, you're kind of like leaving your mind open on purpose, like waiting for this stone to like out to you wherever it is. Anya, you kind of get that sudden feeling, you know, like when you're looking and you see something move in the corner of your eye and you look and there's nothing there. You kind of get that feeling. But Eartha, you're kind of looking at the right place at the right time. You see kind of what there's kind of like a tower, not a tower. It's just kind of like a tall bit of a tower wall, like ancient, and it's kind of just standing. It's not much of a tower. It's maybe 10, 15 feet tall. And you just see it flicker like it isn't there and then vanish as though it was never there. And maybe a few moments later, you see where there wasn't a wall, a crumbled wall, you see a crumbled wall just kind of materialize where it hadn't been previously. You don't get... Anya kind of has a sense something is like there's some kind of weird movement in the actual Samurai. You're oblivious to it, but Eartha, you're kind of catching a lot of it. You're just happen to be looking at the right places at the right time, and you're seeing ruined bits of architecture and infrastructure just kind of reappear and disappear at like random ones, random intervals. Not commonly, it's just you kind of notice it happen every 10 minutes. Something kind of shifts. Eventually, about 10 minutes of riding, you've kind of slowed, not quite slow pace, not quite, kind of just lagging behind normal pace, riding in. You kind of begin to see this junction, the first real junction you've seen, which you assume to be, now that you're here, you assume this to be the center of this place, Tempest's Tears. And you actually see, on the map as well, for reference, you see this kind of, as you're kind of riding in, this obelisk, like standing kind of to the side of one of the intersection, like to the, let me orientate myself, to the east of the Skulldask Road, kind of in between that corner of the Skulldask Road and Thundar's Ride. There's just this obelisk with writing on it that stands at that intersection. And again, like you've got like these like ruined walls that are just kind of standing around and silently vanishing. None of them here yet. Like you haven't been here long enough to notice anything like that. But yeah, what would you like to do? So this looks to be the intersection. You don't see Eartha. You are told to find like a lake and an island. You are told to find like a ruined chapel at like on a small island. You don't see a lake or anything like that. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, you kind of like halt the reins, and your two horses kind of stop and trod slowly before stopping completely at the actual intersection. And yeah, just kind of just ahead of your horses and to the right, you can kind of see this standing stone, like 3 feet by 3 feet, kind of maybe 10 feet tall, just this monolith standing stone with some inscriptions on it. The area is foggy. There's kind of just some ruined walls surrounding you. Yeah, that's kind of the setting you're in. What would anyone like to do here?
I mean, I'd like to approach the stones carefully.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, is there anything written on them?
Yeah, they're covered in writing. What's Jade doing? And Abba.
Jade and Abba will be like, just so you know, when like a crime boss goes up to someone and like the henchmen are stood like literally touching them behind them.
Yeah. So they're right behind you. They can occupy the same space. Abba is so small. Oh my god. This is really fighting me. There you go. Eartha, what would you like to do? Where would you like to... Are you going to investigate the monolith as well?
Yeah. But I'll be,
And
like,
Anya?
next to my horse, kind of.
Yeah? Like there?
Yeah.
Oh, like there. Anya?
I'll just... Probably going to regret saying this. I'll just stay behind with the horses.
Yeah, we'll put you a bit further forward on the cart so you can
Yeah.
really see what's going on. But,
Knowing me, I'll get attacked on my own. But
yeah, so are you guys... Did you say you were looking for writing, Ellis?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to analyze them too.
So the writing, there's like kind of like 4 sentences on each face. And it's all the same thing, just repeated. It says, "Here was peace this day made. Let tempest cry bitter tears. No more our dead will parade and live cloaked in waiting fear." It just says that on each of these walls. Based on the words, "Let tempest cry bitter tears," you take it that's why monolith is why this place is called Tempest's Tears. Do you... actually, Ellis, make a religion check with advantage because Tempest is very closely related to the Red Knight.
That's a 12.
12.
Bearing in mind, one of those was a 1.
Well, at least you had advantage. So, is that with your plus, yeah?
Yeah.
So, you know Tempest. Tempest is kind of like a father figure to the Red Knight. Like, even though gods don't necessarily always have like parents or anything, they're not like he's not like a real father. He just kind of holds that kind of position in her faith as well. Like, you have a great reverence for Tempest as well, although you adhere to the Red Knight's festivals and dogma, not necessarily his. He goes by some other names: the Foehammer, the Lord of Battles. He's just a war god, primarily concerned with brave conduct during war, using force of arms over talk for settling disputes, and encouraging bloodshed. He is through and through like a god of war, where the Red Knight is a god of strategy. You know, the Red Knight doesn't necessarily favor a war if it's not in the best interest of the parties involved. Tempest is also known to, like, if there's a war, one day he's supporting one side, the next he's on the other side. Like, all he cares about is that he's not necessarily evil. He's just the bravery and the honorable conduct of war and battle. I'll just say what you kind of glean from the words on the thing is that "let tempest cry bitter tears" is basically, it's a declaration of peace, and so Tempest can cry bitter tears because there's going to be no more war. That's kind of what you glean from it. You can't read too much into it, but you take it you think the standing stone was probably erected here to mark some sort of peace deal, and then the town, kind of this city that's now been, probably for thousands of years, been in ruins, then propped up around it. And yeah, you don't even know if the original city was called Tempest's Tears, or if that's just what it's referred to now because of the monolith here. But yeah, Can
Samura try and search for the book? Or, well, not the book, but, you know, can Samura try and look around to that thing in which the Blade Singer told them to try and find?
Stone.
stone.
Not like touch it or any. Yeah, the stone. Just like not like try and touch it or anything, but just try and locate it.
Can you hear that? Sorry, for a sec.
Yeah, I can hear.
There's
You.
like a sound from mine. No, there's a loud sound on mine. Can you hear it?
No.
Okay. No worries. Then you make a Arcana check.
Oh, for God's sake! I don't think I've rolled well this entire campaign.
I mean,
That's
to be honest,
11.
this would be more of a detect magic. You think would probably
Detect magic.
yeah. You don't necessarily feel anything strongly arcane, except you've probably started clicking that some of these like ruins kind of seem to vanish every once in a while, and sometimes like these ruins appear where they weren't previously.
I'm gonna turn to Ufa, and I'm gonna say like I'm gonna keep shouting. I'm gonna try and find something. If you could just keep responding to my call, and I'm gonna walk out into the fog. Like,
buddy, wait, whoa. First off, we're not at the area we need to be yet, so I don't think the stone's gonna be here. He might be, but I don't know. I didn't mean to say stone. I meant to say thing you're looking for because I heard you talking about it before.
yeah.
So,
well, I've got to. I may as well try now and then try later. Just keep responding, and I'm gonna start like wandering into the fog, but like repeatedly shouting out to Ufa and hoping.
Which direction?
Can I stop him before he goes? And
yeah, you can try and grab him and be like,
no,
don't.
I want to be like, wait, hold this and give him one end of the rope that I've got with the Explorer's Pack, and say, don't let go, and you can always come back. Although you only get 50 feet.
You notice your horses are starting to stir, like they're starting to like move, like they're like uncomfortable. They're like patting their hooves and like kind of gyrating, like moving backwards and forwards slightly, and like their heads are moving around, and their nostrils like they look uncomfortable.
Draw my sword.
I'm gonna head with the rope. I'm gonna tie it around my waist and head southeast. So like past, like from the wagon. Pass like straight through the thing we've been looking at.
Well, where my wrist is, that direction is northeast. Where in reference to that?
Like 90 degrees, but like heading down. If that's northeast.
Here.
Yeah, like down to the corner opposite where you like. If you go straight down from where your finger was, that corner.
So down here.
No, other side of the map.
Here.
Like, yeah, down that side. I'm gonna head straight down there.
So you're like moving into these ruins.
Yeah, I'm gonna move in. I'm gonna try and look out for anything, like a guardian or the stone. Holding with the rope around my waist and like using my wings to try and disperse as much fog as I can.
Just at this point, you would see coming from where your horses are facing, like toward basically the road that keeps going. So you've been coming from the Citadel, and that road keeps going up until it meets the main road, and you can either go to Boruskia Bridge or Subar. That road continuing, you just see a shape, not a large shape, like something that looks kind of. It almost looks like a wolf at first. You see like it moving to your horses. You can just see like its vague shape, like 20, 30 feet away in the fog. And then you notice like an appendage where like, so it can't be a wolf. You notice something like move slightly above it. And you hear like this growling, like this.
Samurai will approach it cautiously with chromatic orb ready to try and see what it is.
So you're moving towards the other like parting in the ruins.
Yeah.
I'll say at this point, where do you want Jade and Abba?
Stick with Samurai.
Just behind them? Behind them?
Yeah, just behind them.
At this point, this creature kind of reveals itself. You see this, what almost resembles like a puma or a jaguar, this black big cat with 6 legs and these 2 like tentacles that come from its back and kind of lash unexpectedly. And just like the buildings, this thing flickers and like it's kind of like, you know, when you blur your eyes and you can look at something and like it's in like two different locations a little bit. This thing, its image is kind of like bad frequency, like it's kind of blurred, the image, where like if you try to hit it, you might accidentally stab the wrong part and you'd miss it entirely. This thing is like a flickering image of this big cat with 2 extra legs and these 2 tentacles.
As like
everyone know the roll initiative. So
Okay.
Shit.
19.
Bertha?
17.
That's
Anya?
pretty good.
21.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
damn!
Just so you know, Jackson, I wasn't saying shit at my roll, I was saying shit at what we're fighting.
Yeah. I don't know what it is.
I
Like, challenge rating wise.
You can all make a nature check, I'll say.
Oh shit. That wasn't my roll.
What is that? Is
That's a 19.
That's a 6.
Bertha 6, Samura 19, Anya
I'm pretty sure I know what it is.
9.
9. Samura, you are the only one that recognizes what this thing is. You think you've read something about it. This thing is called a displacer beast. It is like a monstrosity, it's a creature that essentially has this pseudo magical effect on it, where its image is kind of flickering and blurred. So it's kind of like anything that tries to attack it might miss it, and it kind of gets some warning on it. This thing is, you don't feel like you couldn't take it. Like you feel like you guys have a fair chance, but it's like a predator. Like this, it's like a bear. It's not going to back down. Like this thing is, you're in its kind of, you feel like you're probably in what it considers to be its own territory, and
it definitely, like, it sees us, doesn't it?
It's facing us head on.
yeah, it's you're an initiative, yeah.
Yeah.
See me, even though I'm in the car.
Yeah, you're all
Great.
in combat with it.
I prepped a chromatic orb. Is there any chance I get to like lob it before combat begins?
I don't think you did.
I said I was like holding a chromatic orb in case I saw like
I'm
anything.
pretty sure that was yesterday with the mercenaries.
Did I not say it as well now in case I saw like something aggressive?
I don't have any memory of it.
We'll say not then, because I'm not sure either.
You don't get a surprise round anyway, so you can use it on your turn happily. But yeah, so let me just double check something. Okay, cool. Anya, it is your turn. So this like strange, like it looks like a big cat, like an ordinary like jaguar, this black big cat, but it's got these 2 tentacles that come from its back and like 2 extra legs like in the middle.
Okay. Sorry, I'm just writing that down. Think I'll move closer. I'll move. It's kind of hard to see because the horses are in the way.
Well, you can't move through the horses.
So I have to come out the back.
Yeah. So
Okay.
you can jump off the probably the side of the wagon closest to you, because the side away from you is kind of got some ruins there. But you can jump off the side closer to the camera, and that'll save you some walking all the way out, and it'll save you some movement essentially.
Yeah, I wanna jump off the cart.
Cool.
The
So
wagon.
that's 10 feet to get off to there.
Am I allowed to do something else? Yeah.
Yeah, well, you've got 20 feet of movement, your action and your bonus action left.
Yeah. I'm going to.
So you're running out of time now. This is your turn starting to end. What would you like to do?
Okay. You know what? I'm just gonna stay there because, yeah, I'm just gonna stay there.
Yeah. So you kind of actually, you know what? I kind of broke my own rules there. Let me count: 5, 10, 15, 20, 20. You were actually 30 feet away from it. So I'll say you can make a stealth check since you're not using your action. because it might not have noticed you're there yet. Because after like 20 feet, the image starts to get blurred, and you're still like 30 feet away from it. What was your stealth check? Roll with advantage because you're in fog.
Maths. Okay. Okay. 22.
22, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I don't think he'll be able to. Yeah, okay, definitely not. So you jump off the side of the wagon and kind of immediately press your back close against it, kind of just peering over like one of the horses, and you don't think it's aware that you're there. You think it's only clocked like the horses. You think it's probably like it wants to eat the horses, and then as it's approached, it's noticed Samura a bit to the left of it and Eartha a bit across. Yeah, you don't think it's quite noticed you're there yet. So next up is Samura.
I'll lob a... Ooh, actually, before I say this, let me double check something. I'm gonna try and get within 10 feet of it. So I'll go walk up so I'm within 10 feet of it.
You are exactly 10 feet away from it at the moment.
Okay, right, so I'll stay there. You know what? I'll move 5 feet closer.
Yeah?
Now, I'm going to use Poison Spray, which is a 10 feet radius and is an AoE, hoping that it means that the displacer effect of it, like, you know, being like a kind of like glitchy, teleporty type of creature won't matter. It's an AoE spell. I'm going to use Poison Spray. So we'll roll that. Which is a 12 to hit. Actually, 1 minute before you answer, I might use it. Yeah, I've got an inspiration, so I'm going to use that.
Go for it.
Which leaves me with a 22 to hit.
22. It does technically require it. Like the effect does still hold, but to me, I see what you're saying. Like it's an area of effect, and it doesn't specify. So I'm going to say it doesn't have disadvantage. So yeah, 22 hits. So you kind of put your hands together and you kind of release this poison spray on this like 10 feet for like ahead of you.
Which takes 1d12 poison damage, which is a 6. So it takes 6 poison damage coming out of my hands? Yeah, hands.
2 seconds, I can't find a rubber. Yep. 6, was it?
Yeah, 6. And then I'm going to move 10 feet backwards, so I'm 15 feet away from it.
5, 10, 15. Okay, Clank is slightly ahead of you now, so you feel kind of comfortable. Sorry, not Clank. Too many animated arms.
Yeah.
Jade.
I'm going to leave... Can I make sure that Jade is... How far is Jade away from the creature?
Well, on the map, 5, 10, 15 feet.
So I'm going to move Jade up to the creature, and we're going to make a multi-attack slam with Jade then.
Is Abba still, like, with Jade?
Abba is going to jump onto the creature's back while this is occurring.
Okay, cool.
So Jade will make... That's a natural 20!
Very nice. So that's double dice damage.
And the second attack is a 10.
First one hits, second does not.
So that is double dice damage.
Oh,
is
sorry. Yeah, you do have advantage on these.
Oh, okay, right. Let me. Should I? I'll just say that's the first attack. So the first one misses. Do you want me to roll for the second attack now?
Yeah, if you got multi-attack, yeah.
Yes, that's 17, and it is 17.
There you go. That one.
Okay, right. So we'll roll dice damage. That is 3 plus 2, so that's 5 damage off Jade.
5 damage. Very nice.
And Abba will just stay on its back.
Cool. Yeah. So you kind of unleash this poison spray and then kind of flutter back 10 feet, and Jade kind of bursts in front of you, Abba on her shoulder, as she just kind of like tries to do like a big slam, and the displacer beast like rears back instinctively, and during that rear back, Abba like hops from Jade's shoulder onto its back without it really noticing or really caring that much, and as it kind of comes back, Jade gives it like one clock that hits, and it kind of just like does like a cornered cat noise, No, it doesn't. It sounds like it's still got plenty of fight in it. It's just it didn't like that. Yeah. So that's your stuff. Itha, what would you like to do?
The drow crossbow. What does that do again? It's a constitution check, isn't it?
I don't have it on me.
Is it not a sleep type of thing?
I think it was.
If you look up,
natural.
If you look up, if you go onto the drow, drow stat block, the standard drow stat block, it should be whatever their crossbow.
Because I was trying.
Probably isn't really their crossbow. It's probably more their bolts. So if it's easier for you, I'm willing to say you can get rid of the crossbow and say you took 20 drow or 10 drow bolts. Because I think it's probably not their actual crossbow that does that. It's probably more whatever they've put on their bolts.
Actions: hand crossbow, range attack, on target, 1d6, piercing damage. Target must succeed in the DC Constitution saving throw 13 or be poisoned for an hour. If the saving throw fails by 5 or more, the target is also unconscious while being poisoned. The target wakes up if it takes any damage or another creature takes an action to shake it awake.
I'm trying to determine whether that would work on this.
Is it not just simply looking at the creature's stat block?
Well, it's not. You're not really meant to take. It's not something you're meant to be able to take. But in universe, there's no reason why you shouldn't. Why the drow should be able to do something and then you can't take it. So it's got a based on its challenge rating. I'll let you attempt it if you want to attempt it.
I mean, I was gonna shoot it anyway, so
yeah,
it's disadvantage,
so
isn't it?
Yes.
Well, that's a shame. I got 13, but I also got a natural 20.
13 hits.
Oh, doesn't matter. Then it takes 1d6 piercing damage. It's got to make a Constitution saving throw. Well, it takes
Constitution save.
And it takes 4 damage, regardless.
Does it not take half damage if it succeeds the saving throw?
Nope. It just depends if it gets poisoned or knocked out, depending on what it
gets. It got an 18 on the con save.
Then it's perfectly fine.
How much damage did it take?
4.
4.
I would then like to cast Spiritual Weapon right in front of it.
Is that your red sword?
Yes, that is my bonus action. And with doing so, I'd like to take another swing at it with the sword. Lowest was 14.
14 hits, yeah.
Nice. And that's just D8 plus 7. 9.
9 damage.
9. Need to mark that off that I'm using that, so it's a second level.
Nice. Is that your turn?
I'm going to take my movement to walk a bit closer.
How much?
We'll go...
You can either go beside your sword, next to the frog, which will be 5, 10, 15, 20. I don't think you'd quite be able to hit from in between Jade and your sword.
Then I'll do it next to the frog.
Cool. So that's 20 feet of movement up to there. Cool. I'll say with you and Jade there now and your sword, this thing's definitely flanked. So it's no longer disadvantage. It's still got that effect on it. It's still kind of displacing itself. But with you flanking it now, it's just kind of a straight roll. Cool. So yeah, you kind of take out your crossbow and you fire a bolt into it, and it takes a little bit of damage, but it shakes off whatever effect whatever sleeping antidote poison that was laced on the bolts you took from the drow. It shakes that effect off. And you summon the spiritual weapon that takes 1 slice into it, and it's kind of starting to a lot of magic is happening, and that seems to make it uncomfortable. Things are appearing, and it's because it's kind of reevaluating what's happening around it, and then you charge forward and get more in its range. Cool. Yeah. So now it is the Displacer Beast's turn. It will. Okay, it's gonna take 2. It's got multi-attack. It makes 2 attacks with its tentacles. It's gonna take 1 of those attacks at Eartha and 1 at Jade. So the first one is gonna go for Eartha. That's low. That's it. Say again.
Do I have my shield up?
You can make that decision now. It rolled quite low. It got 12 total, so it doesn't make a difference either. The one on Jade, higher. 19 to hit on Jade.
19 hits.
Then it does 10 bludgeoning damage. Does Jade have resistance to bludgeoning?
No.
Then 10 damage.
Okay.
Okay. And it move at all because a lot of things will get an attack of opportunity on it, so it's gonna kind of like stamp its claws into the dirt and like kind of steady itself. Anya, it's your turn again. So you can kind of see a lot of this action popping off a little bit further up the road, and you're kind of just hiding to the side of the carriage, still pretty confident. It doesn't know you're there. You don't think the side of the carriage you're on, you don't think you'd be able to, like... Actually, no, sorry, that's wrong. What would you like to do?
I'm gonna get out my violin.
Yeah.
And I think I use... Is it performance?
What are you trying to do?
I just want to play the violin in order to distract the what's it called? Displacer beast.
You wanna try and distract it? Do you wanna reveal yourself? Or are you still trying to keep that you're there? Are you trying to like stomp out and be like, look at me, I'm playing this? Or are you just trying to make it go like, where's that music coming from?
Yeah, I wanna keep in hiding but play my violin and hopefully distract the monster as to thinking like, where's that coming from?
2 things. First thing, make a performance check.
Okay. $17.
17. Okay. Yeah, low.
Was it low?
It seems to be quite like, as soon as the music, I mean, Samara and Eartha as well, like, you weren't expecting, like, I mean, you know, Anya's a bard, so you knew she was probably going to play some music during the combat, but like, this music is more like aggressive, almost like jarring and kind of cryptic, to make you almost instinctively go like, what is that? Like, you know, like, imagine you walked into somewhere spooky and suddenly like an actual spooky soundtrack started playing. You'd be like, oh, whoa, what's that? So like, and the Displacer Beast has this as well, where the Displacer Beast is like, as it's like taking hits, it's like, what is that? What is that? Now make a stealth check with disadvantage, because obviously you're drawing attention to your location to see if it can determine where you are.
$15.
15?
16.
16. It will make a perception check. Wow, it's rolling low. Just for general use, you don't get the sense it is quite clocked where you are. You probably think it's starting to suspect there's someone else, but it doesn't know exactly where you are. It hasn't like clocked your location yet. Is that your turn?
Because I don't know what else to do.
You can move if you want, but that's a good turn. You think, I'll say it's got disadvantage on attacks for this round, so it's a good turn. Just, do you want to move or do you want to stay where you are?
Oh, I'll move 10 feet forward.
5, 10. So you kind of like crawl over some of the like a little bit of ruined wall and kind of hide behind another bit of crumbling wall, a little bit more out of the way. Yeah, I'll say you've probably got about like half cover, so you can kind of crouch down a bit. Yeah, cool. Next up is Samura.
Is there a chance that Samura can try and attempt to cast a spell he hasn't finished, but is nearly finished, and roll a d20 and need a high roll to see if it works or not?
No, if you haven't finished creating the spell, you can't cast it, unfortunately.
Okay.
Good thinking, though.
I was just wondering if there was like, like a disadvantage type of thing on it if you were nearly finished and just needed it for potluck.
I mean, there's no specific rules, but I'm going to say, at least for now, no. Sorry.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. So I've used only cantrips, so I've got all my spell slots. Can I try and make a... Just because at the minute Samura doesn't have a clue, can I try and make an intelligence check to see if this thing would be a sort of guardian creature or not?
Yeah, make a intelligence check, sure.
Just a normal intelligence, not a saving throw.
Just a normal, yeah.
That is 14.
14. You have heard of, like, you've heard of them sometimes, rarely, like, a lot of rangers have animal companions. This thing isn't technically an animal, it's obviously monstrous, like it's a monster. You've heard of some rangers keeping them as companions quite rarely because they're hard to train. You've heard of them being used as guard creatures, like guarding, similarly to how the Iron Golem was guarding that vault. You've heard of them being done like in that way. But I'll say with that role, you also think this one seems kind of feral. This one doesn't seem guarding anything. This one seems to be just, it's claimed this place as its territory. Maybe even based on what you've seen of the buildings, it kind of like its physiology, the displacement effect is similar to what's happening with these buildings. Even though you've never heard of this ruin before, but you've heard of Displacer Beasts. You think it might have just like stumbled into this place and it's kind of seen a bit of itself in the surrounding area and it's kind of made this its lair, but it's not necessarily. You don't get the sense this is the guardian that Fost had mentioned.
Right, I'm gonna a shocking grasp through Abba onto it.
Cool. Yeah. Roll that.
Oh no, that's a 9.
Is that to hit?
Yeah, that's to hit.
Does not get? Oh no, you won't get advantage, doesn't it? Wait,
No, it's just a straight roll.
I'm gonna say it's a straight roll because you have advantage because of the
surrounding,
the distraction. Yeah, like the surrounding. But Abba's literally on it, so I'm gonna say you have advantage just because it's literally touching it.
Okay. That's a natural 20.
There you go, double dice damage.
That's 1d8
damage for me.
Okay, well the first one was a 1. Oh,
He's dropped it.
Okay, I'll re-roll it because I dropped it and I didn't look what it was. It's a 1 and a 7, so that's 8 damage in total.
Bounces up.
And it can't take reactions.
There you go. Yeah, okay. So Abba kind of like does a few tiny jumps, kind of to like its upper spine where the two tentacles are kind of protruding from, and it just like zaps it, similarly as you did to the drow elite that you'd fought a few nights earlier. And yeah, this thing is like you can see like lightning kind of course through its form for a second, and it just kind of like looks singed. A tiny bit of smoke kind of rises off the top of it as it's like looking like real mad about everything that's happening. And Abba's just kind of like diligently sitting on its like its back.
Right. Jade is going to. I don't know if this is allowed, so I'll ask first. Are you allowed to hold your action to save movement?
You could say like, yeah, sure. Depending, what do you want to try and do? And we'll
I want to save Jade's action to follow the creature and stay within 5 feet of the creature.
Oh, so you want to give up Jade's turn, and if the creature runs, Jade will follow it immediately. Yes. Okay.
Actually,
cool, yeah.
do you know what? Actually, can I change my mind? Is that okay?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, Jade's just gonna slam it instead. Is it disadvantage or normal?
Straight roll.
That is a 15 a hit. Let me double check,
Hits.
just in case the plus is wrong. Yeah, the plus. Yes, that's 15, and second one is 11.
Misses. But the first one hits.
Okay, right. So that is a d6 plus 2. That is 3 damage.
3 damage. Very nice. Yeah, Jade following suit, kind of making sure you're starting to sense almost like a little bit of companionship between Jade and Abba forming. They're both like silent watchers almost. Jade kind of being very particular not to hit Abba, now going for like the back of the displacer beast because Abba's moved up, just like slamming it on like the rump in a kind of almost, like when a dog like slips and it kind of like falls down for a moment, kind of like that, like it slips to the ground as it's like it looks back up at Jade as it steadies itself. Is that your 15 rounds?
Yes.
Okay. It's your turn.
Can I use my movement to put my sword away?
I'll allow it. Yeah, sure.
And then can I use my action?
Actually, no, sorry. That technically counts as an interaction, which is like a tiny action. So yeah, I'll let you sheath your weapon.
Right. I would then
as
like
an
to
interaction.
use inflict wounds on it.
Can I? Do you know what? No, never mind.
So can I cast inflict wounds, which is basically I just need to touch the creature. So I've got to make a spell, like a melee spell attack. And then if it hits, it's a 3d10 necrotic damage.
Okay, cool. Go for it. Yeah.
That's an unnatural 20.
Definitely hits, yeah.
3d10. Nice. 13.
13 hits.
Yeah,
Oh, that damage. That's
yeah.
damage. Very nice.
I will then use my bonus action to twat it again with a spiritual sword.
Twat it again with a spiritual sword, please.
Twat it.
That's a 13.
13 hits.
12 damage.
12 damage.
Yes.
Very nice. Okay, so you, after Jade kind of slammed its rump, and it didn't like that. It's like when you discipline a pet, and it's like, what did you just do? It kind of like it like starts focusing on Jade for a second, like focusing this deep like angry growling purr at Jade, and out of nowhere you kind of confuse it as you sheath your sword. It hears that sound like the shh as you push it back into the scabbard, and it like looks at you, and you just like grab it, like grab like the side of its neck, and you just, and it feels like this horrible necrotic energy. Necrotic, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, it doesn't have anything against that, so it like kind of like really like makes itself small, and as it's like doing that and kind of like trying to make itself low and small, as it's starting to get kind of scared, the sword kind of spins and slams into it. Now it's starting to like get quite disorientated, and like you've really backed it into a corner, and it's like doesn't know who its most dangerous target is anymore. Yeah. Now it's turn. It's just gonna. It's just gonna do double. It's gonna do both its tentacle attacks at Jade.
Okay.
First one is natural 20 plus 6 to hit. That's double damage, so I'll roll that first.
What happens to Jade if it hits 0? Can we still revive Jade, or does it just?
You'd have to cast. You'd have to get it like reanimated.
If it hits 1 minute, do you have normal characters? If they hit exactly 0, they instantly die.
Can't heal it.
So how does it? Even out of combat, can you not heal it?
I'm just saying, like the way I view it is after like you've taken a long rest, it's kind of recuperated a lot of its lost.
Okay, right.
So
Okay.
it doesn't exactly sleep, but like that like period of downtime, it just kind of regenerates.
Right.
But yeah, you can't heal it with like magical like the current magical means you have. So keep that in mind. Okay, that first hit is 13 damage.
Okay.
Second, natural 1. Okay. I'm just gonna say. Okay, cool. It's kind of like both of the tentacles, even though like Eartha, it's now looking at you, and it's kind of like you see like this saliva and this matting of its fur around its mouth, and it kind of growls. Both the tentacles kind of rear up and they shoot to Jade, even though it's still looking at you. And one kind of strikes Jade, kind of pushing her back a second, and the other tentacle like strikes the other tentacle in that hit, kind of like shooting 2 arrows, and one splits the other, and it does a little bit of damage. Not a lot, but you hear the displacer piece like, and it kind of like one of the tentacles, like like when you hurt yourself and you like stroke it, one of the other tentacles, like the back of the tentacle, starts stroking the other tentacle as though it's been like scorched. It doesn't do a lot of damage, but it hurt a little bit. Okay, Anya, it's your turn.
I would like to give a bardic inspiration to Eartha.
Cool. Yeah. So you still with the violin out, you're kind of thinking. You think of a song that you think is appropriate, and you start playing the violin rapidly. Eartha, you feel that bardic inspiration. So is it a D6, Jess?
Yeah, it's a D6. You can add it to an ability check, attack roll, or save and throw.
And because Jess is Jess, you can also add it to a healing spell if you like. Cool. Yeah, good round. Do you want to do it? Do you want to move at all, or do you want to stay there?
Yes, I would like to move.
Where would you like to go?
I 10 feet forward, and then 5 feet to the left. Can I do that?
Yeah, like that.
Oh, the other way, man. Sorry.
There you go.
Yeah,
right.
it looks left on my thing.
Yeah, we're on opposite sides, so it's kind of like playing chess. Yeah, that's fine. Make a stealth check. Do you want to even try and keep hidden, or are you bothered about that at this point?
I'm not bothered at this point.
Yeah, sure. So you kind of like you kind of straddle over the wall, and it kind of just you're the least of its problems right now because you're like 20 feet away. But it kind of clocks you with one of its eyes. You notice that it's seeing you jump over the wall, and you kind of approach a bit. But yeah, it's still quite focused on everyone around it. Cool, good turn. Samura, what would you like to do?
So, I think I'm gonna cast again Shocking Grasp to cancel out any reactions it can take.
Okay.
So that is 2 + 7, so that's a 9. Unless I gain advantage again, because
I'll say exclusively for Abba, it's got advantage because she's literally on it.
It's 21 to hit.
Yes, that hits.
Let me quickly check the damage. It's 1d8. That's 6 damage.
6 damage. Nice.
Then Jade is going to take 2 slam attacks. I presume they're just normal attacks, no advantage.
Yeah.
Okay, so that one misses. And that one misses. So Jade misses twice. I don't know how, but
the
she does.
Shocking grasp, kind of like you can see the tentacles are now starting to concern themselves with getting Abba. Now that Abba has done this shock thing twice, the tentacles are starting to concern themselves with getting rid of this thing, and Abba's kind of having to jump around a lot, and so Jade is very unsure of where to hit and not hit. Yeah.
Can I also say Jade takes her bonus action to cast Second Wind?
Yeah, if that's something she can do. That's sidekick thing, yeah. So yeah.
Yes, it's because she has the war. Now the fighter saying things is 1d10 plus your fighter level. I presume for Jade as a sidekick, she has the warrior as her subclass. Does that mean I take the warrior level?
Yeah, just the warrior level, yeah.
Okay. Which is 6 health she gains back, taking her to 22.
Very nice. Yeah. So Jade kind of plants a fist on her chest and like clanks it twice, and she kind of like straightens herself up. kind of maybe like bends a dint out of her own armor, kind of trying to patch herself up in the middle of battle. Yeah, cool. Itha, it's your turn.
I am going to take my sword back out and hit it with that.
Yeah, go for it.
16 to hit.
Hits.
2 damage.
2.
Robert, you have multi-attack as a war cleric, don't you?
Yeah, but I'm going to use it to use my sword again. Because my sword does more
Okay.
damage than my normal sword. If I do hit it. So...
What's the point if you have multi-attack then?
Well, what's the point of having my sword out if I'm not going to use it? It disappears in a minute. I've got...
Well, but not to be a buzzkill, but doesn't drawing your sword cast a bonus action, so you have to use multi-attack instead of your sword?
It's a small action.
Okay.
I asked this before.
Interactions are better. If there's a little sheet, I put it in the player thing on our Google Drive, because a lot of that I didn't even know. So yeah, a tiny little action like drawing or sheathing a sword, technically an interaction, so it doesn't actually need to use up anything. So we'll keep that in mind for the future. Yeah, so 2 damage. You get like a little nick it. You maybe like you just get like a slash in as you're pulling the sword out, and you just kind of nick it.
And then bonus action is going to be to hit it with the spirit sword.
But it please.
24.
24 definitely hits.
Yes, 24. 10 damage.
10 damage. Very good. You can see this thing like now when your spiritual weapon takes another chunk out of it, you can see this thing is like starting to bleed. A lot of its fur is starting to like mat with blood, especially on like its main body, and it's kind of like it looks like it's still standing its ground because you're kind of probably in the middle of its territory, so it's kind of like I'm not going down without a fight on this one. But yeah, cool, good turn. Anya, what would you like to do? You can see this as well. This thing looks on its last legs like it's bleeding quite a lot. It's bruising a lot.
How much feet am I away from it?
You are about 5, 10, 15. You're about 15 feet. 15, 20 feet.
I would like to cast Dissonant Whispers.
Yeah, go for it.
So the target must make a Wisdom saving throw. On a failed save, it takes 3d6 psychic damage and must immediately use its reaction.
So this is the Displacer Beast has a feature called Avoidance. If the Displacer Beast is subjected to an effect that allows it to make a saving throw to take only half damage, it instead takes no damage if it succeeds on the saving throw, and only half damage if it fails.
Just to check, does that count as a reaction? Just obviously, if it does, I've disabled its reaction.
No, it's just a feature.
Okay.
So, what was it was a Wisdom saving throw, yeah?
Yeah.
So it got a 14. So what's your spell save DC? It's probably like a 15, I think.
Yeah, 15.
15. So it fails, but because of like it's an 8 thing, it takes half damage. So roll the damage and it takes half.
Okay, 3d6. 10. So it takes
10.
5. 10.
That's exactly what it needed. So yeah, you kind of say these dark, machinating words that kind of are carried on the wind over to the Displacer Beast, and it begins to hear these dissonant whispers that kind of like scare it, and it until it just stops moving, and all of its muscles go like deadly still, and it just like and it like falls to the ground in a heap, and the tentacles just kind of rest on top of it. Dead. Good job, guys. So yeah,
I would like to make sure it's dead.
Hey!
Walk up to it and just stab it in the head.
Yeah, you can, and it just some.
But
blood.
whoa. Can I try and see if I can analyze the body for any magical information? See if it can help me develop my first spell.
Sure. Make an Arcana check.
Whilst he's doing this check, can I check to see if any of these parts
15.
are valuable?
Say again, Alice.
Can I check if any of these parts are valuable, like worth selling?
make a intelligence check. Jackson, for you, 15. Nothing about the Displacer Beast necessarily helps you with any of your spells that you currently have been like tinkering around with. But like you think the displacement aspect is interesting, and again with what Eartha's doing, you think there might be some harvestable parts that could like be useful. What did you get, Eartha? 9. Just to like state the obvious, the only thing that's explicitly like alien looking are the tentacles. Just like you think maybe you're not sure if you like get much for them, but you know it's a displacer beast. Like you've actually Samurai.
Can I try and see if there's anything valuable? Because obviously I've just analysed it for magical needs too.
Yeah, 2 seconds. Anya, what were you going to say?
Did you say it was a beast and it had fur?
It's not. It's called a displacer beast, but like it's not classified as a beast. It's a monstrosity.
So if I needed like a fur or feather from a beast, I couldn't use any fur off that.
Technically, no, but I'll allow it because it's literally called a displacer beast. So I'll allow it. So you can take a little bit of fur. Samurai, I was going to say anyway, can you make an intelligence check with advantage because you're a wizard?
That is 15.
15. You know there's not like a common item. Actually, it might be common. I'm not sure of the exact classification. But there is a magical item that is in pretty wide displacement. There is a magic item called a Cloak of Displacement, which is made from the hide of a displacer beast. That like, you know, it's not like I don't think it's a super common item, but it's one of the more common magical items. It just kind of grants that effect. You don't think you'd be able to make that kind of thing, but like you think if you maybe if you chucked it on the cart, you might be able to like do something with it.
Is there a specific body part I know would be relating to the spell?
The hide.
So that I could keep that specific body part.
The hide. Yeah.
Right. I'll turn to Ufa and I'll go. I need the hide. It'll highly benefit us if I could keep hold of it, and I'll try and keep hold of the hide if Ufa can correctly skin it.
If you want to trust me.
Yeah, it's better than anything I can do.
Let me just double check.
Unless I'll.
That's funny wording. 20 cube. No, okay. That's fine. So, are you going along with that, Eartha?
Yeah.
Can you get advantage? Because I am technically trying to encourage them and help them.
You would have had disadvantage because this thing, you're not skinning an animal. You're skinning like almost alien creature. This thing has magical properties, so you would have had disadvantage. So now it'll be a straight roll. But if you fuck this up, it's going to be like unrecoverable. So you're just going to ruin the hide if you want to try. If you fail.
Is Ellis rolling this?
Yeah.
What am I rolling?
Or you could just try and put it on the cart and keep it around.
Because we.
First of all.
Well, I think that's. Can I try and talk to him before he skins it?
It'd be a survival for skinning, right?
Yeah. So your Samurai's kind of trying to explain what he wants you to do, and he's holding the displacer beast and kind of splaying it, and he's asking you to skin it. You can choose not to. You would, I'll say, as kind of a somewhat pseudo survivalist, you'd because you're not trained in this. You know, if you try and do this now, you just have a straight roll, no advantage, no disadvantage. If you fuck it up, you won't be able to do anything with the corpse. So you can either keep it and try and take it to someone, or it might start rotting. You're not entirely sure.
Jess,
especially
that inspiration. Did it go for ability checks?
Yes, I think it did. Hang on, let me just double check.
I'm pretty sure it does.
It does. I'm pretty sure she said ability checks.
Yeah.
Yeah, so technically I'll say you do have advantage just because she also gave you that. So, but you do know if you fuck this up, you will not be able to recover it, and you're gonna like permanently mangle the hide, and you won't be able to do anything of value with the corpse.
What is it's a 1d6 plus, isn't it? So you'll get a roll you get a roll of 20 plus a 1d6.
Not an advantage. You get the bardic instant.
Plus my survival.
Yeah, so 20 survival and d6.
Right. Do you trust me, Jackson?
You can...
Actually, I'm gonna say.
I mean, you do what you think.
This thing takes 10. This thing takes 10 by 10 feet. So if you wanted to put it on the cart, you would all have to get very comfortable with it, because there's only 3 by 2 feet on the cart, so there's only like 10 feet of unoccupied space if you put it on the cart. But yeah, what were you saying, Ether?
So I'm gonna ask Samara, do you trust me?
Yeah, I trust you, and if you fail, don't worry. We'll just quickly make a campfire. I'll use firebolt to set it going. It's just a cantrip. And I'll cook the meat, and then we can put the meat in your bag of holding for the next couple of days.
Right, okay. I'm gonna give it a go.
Go for it.
Calculator.
Is that with the 1d6, just before you say it out loud?
Yeah, it is now. That's 22.
22.
So
I
rolled a 13, rolled a 4, and I've got a +5 to survival.
As you start like cutting it, do you have a dagger?
I should do. I think I have one in the bag of holding.
If you don't, you can borrow one off Anya anyway.
I have one in the Explorer's pack, don't I? Or is that just a knife?
I believe so.
I don't. Yeah, I think in the Explorer's pack you get a knife. So we'll say yeah.
Google.
You can, regardless. I know Anya has one, so you'd be able to borrow one. You start carving into the hide, and as you kind of cut for like more than a few moments, you hit like a bit of muscle, and something happens, and one of the tentacles like writhes, and Samurai, you kind of grab it and you kind of hold it down, and you keep cutting, and you can feel like the tentacle writhing. It's not alive, but it's like this rigor mortis like flinch as you're like cutting into the sinew and muscle, and you're like Samurai, you're really holding them down because they're flinching a lot. But Eartha, you kind of spend 5-10 minutes skinning it, and you get like a nice like 5 foot by 5 foot, we'll say for the purposes of this, like not exactly, like rugged kind of cut around the edges. It's not perfect, but it's pretty good. Like this hide, this like displacer beast's hide. Again, Samurai, you have no idea what actually goes into turning it into a cloak of displacement. You'd have to talk to someone more proficient than yourself. You're not even entirely sure what exactly it does. You presume it's probably something similar to the beast's innate capabilities. That's why it requires the hide. But yeah, you get like you're pretty happy with it when you finish. You think this is a pretty good, especially for like a first attempt, like this is a good cut skinning. You can shove that in the bag of holding, clean it off, shove it in the bag of holding. Samurai, while he's doing that and you're kind of holding down the tentacles, you hear this, not hear, but you just feel this drawing, this like something reaching out to you, to like, if where I'm pointing on the map, if this is the northeast, kind of in this direction.
Sorry, I can't see. Okay, never mind. I can see your hand now.
Yeah, so just like in this direction, you just feel like this pulling sensation.
Is it some sort of like charisma or wisdom check, or do I just feel it?
You just feel something like, almost like, it's not saying your name, but you know the feeling you get when someone says your name, that like, oh, someone said my name. You haven't like heard your name. It's just that feeling, like that. Oh, what? And you kind of just feel it.
Can I try and head towards it? But it's like, can I try and head towards it with like a mental attitude to be prepared to like kind of resist any effect it tries to wrath upon me?
Yeah, sure. You can kind of mentally fortify yourself. What are you guys doing? Are you, if you're holding up the...
I haven't told them that I'm feeling this effect unless they've felt it.
Yeah, but you're walking off into the mist.
Yeah.
Do I see him walk off to the mist?
Unless you would you. This isn't really a check. Would you be more concerned with getting the hideaway, or would you think you would notice?
I feel like Eartha would still be very observant with what just
Yeah.
happened. But I feel like he'd be
Yeah,
focused and observant at the same time, in a way.
And with Anya, just kind of like where she was, I'll say, you notice Samura walking off, kind of away from the obelisk, kind of in that direction, just kind of dodging and weaving through some of the ruined stoneworks, kind of plodding over the grass. The grass is very dewy, like in this mist bubble. It's still like mist, like the air is wet, and like the grass is very like matching that, and the stones are quite slick and wet. And you just see him kind of just walking in that direction. Doesn't say anything, he just starts walking.
Hey, whoa, wait up, buddy. Rope, my guy.
Presumably, we never stopped the rope, so presumably the rope is still attached, but just around the statue.
I imagine you probably took that off during combat, or else you would have had disadvantage the whole time.
Okay, well then yeah, I'll walk back, I'll just quickly grab the rope, attach it on me without saying a word, and just keep going, but like focusing all my energy on staying mentally stable.
Yeah.
Can I turn to Anya
yeah.
and say, keep an eye on him?
Yeah.
I mean, pretty quickly he'll be unseeable. So are you telling Anya to follow? She could hold the rope. She probably couldn't tie herself in because it's already tied on one end.
Well, Ellis is holding the rope. Well, not holding, but Ellis has the rope attached to him right now, doesn't he? Like, like in his bag or something. Well, you're the one who gave me the rope, so presumably you're holding, or like got one end attached to you in some way.
Let's say he hands it to Anya. If he's saying that to Anya, he gives Anya like the spill of rope, and yeah. So if that finishes, kind of packing away the gains from the displacer beast. How long is the rope? 50 feet.
Yes.
At about 50 feet, you're not there, but you can see now a lake. Not a big lake, just like a moderately sized lake. Like it's not, you wouldn't classify it as a pond. It's not small. It's big enough that you feel comfortable calling it a lake. But it's not like huge. It's not like a reservoir. It's just like a lake you might see in like slightly bigger than a lake you might find in like some fields, like in the middle of a field.
Okay.
And you can kind of make out like an island in the middle of it.
Okay, well, I actually haven't. I'm going to use message to message. Do I know Anya has the rope?
I think message has a 25 feet range. What's the range on it?
I thought, yeah, it's 120 feet.
Oh, never mind. Yeah, go for it.
Do I know Anya has the rope?
Actually, wait. So there's something with message. Do you not need to be able to see who you're talking to?
I'll quickly give it a read. You point your finger towards a creature within range and whisper a message. The target, and only the target, hears the message and can reply in a whisper that only you can hear.
That's okay.
You can.
That's fine then, because you can just point in the direction where the rope is coming from. So yeah.
Yeah, I'll point in the rope in the direction the rope is coming from. And I'll say to Anya. Ooh, actually, how many words can I use before I do this?
So you take out a little bit of copper wire, I believe is. Oh no, that's sending. Sorry. So you're okay from message.
I pull out an inch of common metal, a thin sheet of lead, and 3 foot of wood blocks.
Yeah.
Oh, whoa, never mind. That's what. I pull out some stuff. That's what blocks.
You pull out
some
junk.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'll say to Anya, it doesn't have a word requirement on the spell card.
It's just a short message. So just say like whisper a short message.
Okay. And I'll whisper through to Anya, lake, middle, island.
Not like that. Like you can get out like a sentence.
Yeah, no, but I've got quite a lot of information here, so I'm going to go like about 10 words, but just make them kind of vague. Because to be honest, there's like about like 2 or 3 sentences worth of information here, so I'm going to try and like split it up.
Go for it.
If you allow that.
No, it's fine.
Lake, middle, island, tell, Ufa, bring. I'm going to say bring transport, hoping you know what I mean.
You don't think, just for you wouldn't be able to get your cart and horses through all these ruins?
Okay, right, I'll say bring what you can. That'll be it.
And then Anya can, if she chooses to, relate that exact message to Aether, so you both know that information. Samara, you kind of hear this faint talking. You just hear this.
Sorry, yeah, I couldn't hear that. Could you repeat?
Yeah, I'll imagine it's whispered. I'll just say it. Finally, someone who can appreciate what I have to offer. And then like a moment of silence, and then a do not speak. She will see. But very like dark and quiet and cryptic. Not like, do not speak, she will see.
Can I try and... I'll not say it out loud, but can I think to myself? Like, just in my own head, can I say, can you hear me?
You don't get a response.
Okay, so then out loud I'm gonna say, where are you? Where are you?
See. He just repeats that last sentence he said, but angrier and louder.
Okay. I'm gonna tug the rope and see if anybody not like pull, but like give it like a like a lasso where you pull it up and then you push it down. I'm gonna do that to like put some tension on it to see if anybody follows.
So Anya, you're kind of relating that message you got from Samura to Aether, and you feel like the rope being like pulled a few times.
Confused as to what's going on here.
So Samura's went wandering off into the mist, and you're holding the rope that he's attached to.
Okay. And who was the person that was whispering to him? Is that just someone that he can...
Yeah, so that's the thing he's here looking for, that he got told would reach out to him when he found it.
Okay. I don't know.
But you can't hear any of that anyway, so it's not relevant to you.
Okay.
You don't need to worry about that.
I don't know. I'll probably...
Should probably just tell Aether that he's pulling on the rope, because he's trying to pull you there.
Okay, I'll do that then.
Yeah. So Aether, she just kind of tells you like, oh, someone's pulling on the rope, which you presume is Samura, kind of being like, come on.
Yeah, okay. I'm just trying to think what to do with the horses.
Yeah, they look calmer now that the Displacer Beast is dead. They're not stirring or anything. They don't sense anything in the immediate vicinity.
Am I able to cast message again? 'Cause it's a cantrip, so it doesn't cost spell slot.
Yeah.
Can I cast message to...
Not to Earth.
I'll cast it to... I'll cast it to Enya, because obviously I can follow the straight line of the rope. And I'm going to say... Put the horses on the statue. Tie other side of the rope to you.
So, are you telling her to, like, bridle the horses onto the monument, and then tie herself to the other end of the rope?
Yeah, so that she can walk towards us, so we can still at least hear her. I'm basically trying to make a chain so that the horses are on the monument, then she's connected to the, which is then connected to the monument, and then like a chain on.
She won't be connected to the monument.
We don't have that much rope.
I'm just. Yeah.
Maybe if she. You just got to the end of the rope and you can see the lake, so you're at the max you can go without just getting off the rope.
I'll say. Can I change my message? Is that okay?
Yeah, sure.
Tie yourself to the monument and walk towards me.
we'll just assume Anya is kind of passing that information on to Eartha, so you can both
Yeah.
do what you will. So yeah.
And if she starts doing so, I'm going to keep shouting out so she knows which way to walk.
She's got the rope.
Yeah, just obviously if she's tying one end to the thing,
rope,
and then when she starts walking towards me, when I hand it off.
You'd be using like the horse's bridling to tie them to the monument, so she's still got the rope, and she's exactly 50 feet away from you. You've gotten to the end of the rope, so all she can do is walk with the rope towards you.
Fine, I'll not use the message. I'll walk back towards her to meet her.
There you go.
And I'll say to her, do I still remember like the straight path towards the lake, don't I?
It's not hard. Yeah, it's just a little ways. It's just through some of the ruined houses.
Yeah. I'll say, can you tie yourself to the monument and walk with me, just so you know we don't get fog.
You don't get the sense that like you really need to be doing the tying thing. Like you know where you're going.
Okay, right. I'll just skip the tying the rope then, and I'll say, I'll shout over to Ufa, Ufa. And once Ufa comes over, I'll say, I know the way to the lake, and I need your help with something.
What do you need help with, buddy?
I'm sure you helped me earlier with the stone. The blade singer back at the cathedral. He asked if I could try and help him locate a stone. And in return, he's been helping me with create a new spell. I really need your help with this though, in case we get lost.
No worries. Just obviously, don't do anything stupid.
And based on his you're still looking for a lake, Eartha.
Mm-hmm. I know it's the right way, but I'm obviously still going to tell him don't do anything stupid.
Yeah. And so are you guys all going towards the lake?
Yes.
Cool. So you can see a bit more. Samurai, you didn't get quite to the beach of the lake. You just got as far as you could with the rope. You're probably about 10-20 feet away from the actual coastline of it. So you tie up the horse into the thing. You kind of dodge and weave through some of these old ruined buildings. Some occasionally disappearing, same as before. And you get to the edge of this lake, and the first thing you notice is the lake is completely stagnant. There's no outside flow, there's no river or stream going into it or out of it. The water is just completely still. It doesn't move unless you tamper with it. There's no tide or flow in it. The water is not dirty, but it's not exactly clear either, especially in this fog. You can't tell really how deep it is, but you can see this island, not a particularly big island in the middle, but you can see the ruined, almost the foundations of what you presume, Eartha, to be the temple that was mentioned to you, just this circular foundation on this island and a little bit of wall here and there. But this island is also completely covered in swords that have been stabbed into the ground. It almost looks like a porcupine or an echidna or something. This entire island with the circular foundation is just covered in plunged swords, all different kinds. You can't really make out too much, but long swords, claymores, short swords. You maybe even see a few daggers, maybe one or two other kinds of weapons, like a mace here and there or an axe. But you get the sense that it's swords that are just all over this island, again looking like a hedgehog or a porcupine. Samurai, you can kind of feel this tugging again. You feel more that whatever's calling out to you isn't on the island, it's just in the water. You can kind of feel you understand whereabouts it is a little bit.
I'll turn to Ufa and Anya and I'll relay. The stone, it's calling out to me. I don't know, maybe it's because I'm a spell. I'm able to cast.
The voice comes back. Are you simple?
It keeps speaking to me, but I don't know what it wants. And Samurai at this point is half crying.
You feel the severing. This voice is gone.
I will turn to the other two. Wait, just wait here. And I'll try and turn exactly 180 degrees from them. so that I know if I need to, I
You
can
now
turn
have-
exactly 180
You
back.
now have no idea. You do not feel the stone calling to you anymore. You've got no idea where it is.
Right, I'll still turn exactly 180 degrees away from them, and I'll try it's like gently flying above the lake, but away, like moving away from them, knowing that if I need to, I can turn exactly 180 back.
Yeah, sure.
I'm just gonna like try and fly 10 feet out, see if it hears me, like see if it talks to me.
You get
20
the
feet out.
sense this thing is done with you. Like it's completely severed itself from you.
Right, I'm gonna like fly just above the water of the lake, trying to stay again at that 180 in case I need to turn back. I try and keep like bearings so that I can turn back to them if I need to, if I go left or right, and just try and fly around the lake and just see if I can try and find it. See if there's any magical essence through the water. See if the stone has got any visible.
It's not calling out to you at all. You don't feel anything. It's just as though before it first called out to you when you were at the monolith. That's exactly how you feel. You don't feel any pulling sensation at all.
I'm gonna fly back to them and go. I don't think it was happy that I told you guys about it. It
Make an
doesn't
intelligence check.
Saving throw or not?
Just to check.
14.
It kept repeating, like, do not acknowledge that you're talking to me or she will see. And you get the sense because you kept saying, like, it's talking to me, whatever it was referring to, it's now like, okay, I've done too. I can't.
Can I try and fly around? Obviously, again, remembering where my bearings are, remembering where these two are, and try and find the she's on about.
Yeah, you kind of fly around the lake timidly a bit. You don't see a woman. You don't see anyone.
Without flying back to the party, can I try and kneel as if it's like a praying position? But instead of praying to a god, can I try and spiritually or magically connect myself to where, like, you know, to kind of like what I thought the stone was, and kind of be like, I'm so sorry. I was just trying to be careful.
Are you saying that, or are you thinking it?
Like saying it out loud. I'm sorry. Like but hopefully like out of range of these two. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to upset you. I denounce the Red Knight. I do not believe in the religion, only the magical properties of the world.
You don't feel anything.
Right, I'm gonna head back to the party and tell them that I do not know where it is and we can move on.
Well, this is where Eartha's going.
Yeah, but like, try and like say like, I don't know about my issues. Let's just move on to Eartha's.
Eartha? So you're looking at this. You're standing on the edge of this lake. There's the island in the middle with the foundations of the circular foundations of this chapel. You are told to, or temple. You are told to pray in, and the island again. No, there's no like land bridge to it. You'd have to go through the water, but this island is just covered in swords, all plunged into the ground.
Can I inspect the water?
Yeah, go for it. Make a. What are you trying to glean?
See if there's anything in there that might hurt me.
Make a nature check or a survival, up to you.
24.
24. You notice that there's no flow in the water, so the lake's stagnant, and you kind of put a hand in and you take a sip of the water and you kind of spit it out. It's horrible. There's no flow in the lake, so any detritus, any dirt that's gone in isn't flowing back out. It's fresh water, but it's dirty. It's rancid. You don't think anything would be living in the lake. You kind of test a bit in. You kind of walk 5-10 feet in, and it only goes up to about like your knees. Like at about 20 feet in, it gets up to your knees. It seems to be a fairly shallow lake.
I'm gonna turn back to them and just tell them that I'm just gonna walk there, pray, and then come back. You can if you want, or stay there.
As he's telling me this, can I just interrupt him and go, I can try and carry you, fly you to the middle of the island?
Nah, it's alright. I don't mind walking or swimming, whatever comes first.
Yeah.
I think this is probably part of the test.
I'll try and even though he said this, I'll fly like 5 feet above the lake, like above him, trying to keep an eye on him. And second he gets to the middle, turn exactly 180 degrees to Samara's knowledge and fly back to Anya. And as soon as I get back to Anya, 180 degrees, straight to the middle of the lake.
You're going to the island?
Yeah, so I'll try and follow Ellis to the island, turn around, go straight back to Anya, and then turn around again so I know where the middle of the lake is.
Okay. Anya, what are you doing? Do you want to stay on the beach or do you want to follow Eartha to the island?
I'll stay on the beach.
Yeah. So the beach is kind of a little bit of sand and light dirt, but mostly kind of grassy. Yeah.
While I'm there, you mentioned sand. Would I be able to collect?
Yeah, very keen.
Sand?
Yeah. You get a little pouch out and you scoop some in. Yeah, perfect. So yeah, Eartha, you managed to get to the island without getting any deeper than your upper leg. It doesn't get very deep at all. You kind of scramble up onto this island, and now that you're here, it's very ominous and still. Just seeing all these swords in the ground. There's kind of a path where the swords just stop, and this path kind of forms that leads up to the circular foundation. The foundation itself is quite big, probably about a 40 feet by 40 feet foundation. Some of it almost goes into the lake. You can't even really imagine what the building would have looked like when it was there on this island in this lake. Yeah, you kind of just follow these blades, kind of looking at some of them lightly as you kind of walk your way up to the center of the temple. What are you doing?
I'm just focusing on sticking to the path and hopefully finding somewhere that looks somewhat like an altar or somewhere to pray.
You don't see anything necessarily like that. You just maybe see. You just kind of see like a dais in the center. You get the sense, similarly to as before in your initiation, the center seems to be right.
Then I'll just go there, kneel, and pray.
Cool. And Sam, where are you doing this?
The second team hits the island, I turn around and I go straight back to Anya.
Cool. You kind of fly back and you kind of land next to Anya, kind of just looking around. You two, both from behind you, your clothes and your hair, and your feathers, Samara, you flutter. They flutter forward, as though there was something with great speed and force moved behind you. And you kind of glance to see what it is, and above you, you see this great shadow. You can't make out what it is because of the fog, but it almost obscures the sun for a moment as just this large thing moves above you. And you hear yeah?
Is this thing moving towards the island or not?
Yeah, it's moving past you.
Okay, I'm gonna grab Anya with permission and try and fly towards the island. But just the edge of the island.
Do you let him carry you, Anya?
Yes.
Yeah. So you kind of loop an arm through Anya's, and you kind of take off and towards the edge of the island. And Eartha, you now see this as you're kind of silently kneeling in the middle of the chapel. You just feel this above you, just going in the opposite direction. And a few moments later, you hear this. Just these loud, gargantuan footsteps almost moving towards you. What? Do you do anything, Eartha?
No. I'm going to stay kneeling.
Samara and Anya, you kind of land at the edge of the island, kind of at the beginning of this path of blades, just kind of hovering around. And you just hear this, all of you hear this voice, not telepathic like a few of you have been hearing recently. This just incredibly loud voice. Physically, you're hearing it with your ears.
To whom do I owe the pleasure?
Rings in the stillness of the air.
Samara will try and hear Ufa's voice before he responds.
You're just, waiting for something else. Eartha, do you say anything?
Yeah, I'm just gonna go, I'm Eartha. I've been sent by the Red Knight to pray. Only to pray, and then leave.
You hear that louder footstep, and another footstep that almost sounds quieter, and you then realize it's because that footstep was in the lake, and the water cushioned some of that sound. You now sense this thing close to you, and you can start to see a little bit to your left. You can just see this great shadow. Make a perception check.
It's gonna be something like ancient red dragon, isn't it? That's a 17 plus 14 plus 5. 36.
36. It has the only color, it's mostly black because it's like a shadow in the fog, almost like a silhouette, like a blurred silhouette. So much so that you can't even make out really the shape. It's just this large, gargantuan. You can almost see a tint of purple. That's the first color you recognize, this almost gleaming purple. Yeah, Jackson?
If it is gargantuan, depending on the size of the island, is there any chance that me and Jess see it so that we can try and identify it?
You don't see the purple, but you can kind of see this gargantuan shape in the shadow, so you can both make a perception check with disadvantage, Jess and Jackson.
14.
14?
Say with disadvantage.
Yeah.
7.
7. No, you can't. You're kind of scared. You're definitely scared. Whatever this thing is, more so than the Iron Golem, you didn't really know the power rating of an Iron Golem. You didn't know like this thing looks scary, but is this one of those things that looks? This thing, whatever this is, could kill you if it wanted to, and for some reason it hasn't deigned to yet. It's huge. Whatever, you can't even make out a real shape. It's huge.
Does Samara know it's passive?
You've heard its voice. All you've heard it say is, "To whom do I owe the pleasure?" And you heard Eartha respond.
Can I make an insight check to see if I think its voice sounded passive or aggressive?
Yeah, sure. Make a insight check.
1 minute, I'm just trying to grab it. Grab the stats. That's a 5!
5. You don't feel threatened. You feel scared. You don't know if it's threatening you playfully, or if it's you don't know if it's being ironic, to whom do I owe the pleasure, like an intruder, or if it's being genuine. You're just kind of scared. Whatever this thing is, it's here and it's close to you, and it could kill you if it wanted to, you assume.
I'm gonna hold my action. I'm gonna grab Anya and then hold the rest of my action to, again, 180 degrees away from the island towards our horses. Just get ready to fly.
You feel the pulling again from close to you in the water. You just feel this pulling sensation, and you just hear the voice. One more difference.
What did you say? Sorry.
I'll stop doing the voice because the headphones are picking it up. Just imagine he's creepy. You just hear him say, "One more chance," in a very pointed way.
I'm gonna let go of Jess without saying anything. Just
while we're still in the air, you're just gonna let go of me.
Well, I'm not on the air at this point. I was just ready to go into the air. So you're still on the floor.
You hook her arm, and then you immediately look to the side and you unhook it, and you just start plodding off into the water.
I'm gonna fly directly above where I think the voice came from, but not quite in the water, just flying literally a foot or two above it.
Make a stealth check.
21.
21. You get the feeling that this, you presume you're now interacting, or Eartha is interacting with the guardian of this place. You think that it is preoccupied with him, and it's not paying attention to you. You feel pretty confident it hasn't noticed you're toying with this yet.
Am I confident that I know where the horses are from this direction?
The horses, yeah. It's you've walked the area a few times now. The fog isn't changing things. You still know locations within the fog.
Okay, right.
You've got geographical landmarks down. You know where the monument is. You know kind of the layout of some of the buildings. You know where the lake is, where the island is. stuff like that.
Staying above the object, but not quite in the water again, like a foot or two above it. I'm gonna say, I didn't tell them this time. Are you directly below me?
You just
give me
hear
a sign.
This seething anger. Why do you not fucking learn? Stop talking, or she will see.
Okay, I'm gonna now speak mentally to the rock, and again just say, I'm sorry. Show me a sign where you are, and
You feel like it's right. You feel like it's right below. You can feel where it is. It's like pulling you to it. It's like a magnet.
I'm gonna
response.
I'm gonna close my eyes and purely off Arcana, just dive in the water and try and get it.
You want to dive into the water?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
it's like knee high, right?
Where it's just like you're gonna make a splash.
Well, I'm obviously gonna try and do it like stealthily, but like kind of just like enter the water with my eyes
probably require
closed.
more like landing quietly and then like waiting for something more distracting to happen and then seizing it when you think. Like there's you probably want to be more reserved and like maybe holding to until you think there's an opening.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
want to be quiet about it.
I'll do that. I'll wait until there's like kind of like something else happening and then quietly go in the water.
Okay, cool. While this has been happening, Eartha, you kind of get just like a half answer. You just hear a
Child of strategy. Very well.
no more words, but the shape doesn't move at all. Just this vaguely purple-black shape, kind of standing maybe 30 feet away, but whatever it is, it's huge, and it goes back a lot further than that. You can just see like the tip of its silhouette. Do you do anything else, or do you just keep praying?
Keep praying, but this time to hope that I don't die.
The thing, it kind of just lets you for a few moments longer, and then you hear this like this guttural like sneer, like a satisfied sound, and then it says,
You are done. Now, your gift.
I'm gonna take out my sword, look at it for a second, because it's a pretty big important gift, and find a nice spot for it and just stab it in the ground.
yeah. You walk out into the path of blades, sensing there's this neat path, and you find like an opening in kind of some of this metal foliage, this like thicket of swords, and you plunge it in to the ground, and you hear that equally satisfied. Samura, while this is happening, you've kind of landed in the water, and you can feel what you think might be this object kind of on one of your talons, and when there's kind of this in the breath before you hear the metal clang of Eartha sticking the sword in the ground, you hear, "Now, seize me."
I'll follow its direction, and as it says it, I'll grab.
Make a sleight of hand check. I'm going to say with advantage because of the fog, it's distracted, so on and so forth. Oh my god.
That is 11. Actually, do you know what? I'll roll inspiration. Oh,
Don't.
never mind. I'll just keep it as it is.
Yeah, I'll let you keep that. Natural one. In perfect this synchronized movement. The metal clangor of Eartha's sword being plunged into the dirt completely masks the sound of your talon plunging into the lake and picking up. And when you touch it, you feel like this connection to whatever. It looks like a literal lake rock. It's smooth, grey, nondescript, but you just feel like this deep breath of energy kind of course through you for a moment. We'll head back over to Earth there. And Anya, you're more paying attention to what's happening with Eartha rather than what Samurai is doing. Eartha, as you kind of plunge your sword into the ground and you kind of look back towards the shape, you see it now come into clearer view. You see this gargantuan, in actual game terms, like the size gargantuan dragon, yes, but none that you particularly know well about. You see this dragon with these gem-like purple scales that almost perfectly resemble amethysts that kind of spike off its skin. It looks like it's made purely out of amethyst. This dragon, this ancient amethyst dragon. You know that like dragons typically fall into two camps: metallic and chromatic. Chromatic dragons are like blue, green, red. They're typically evil and malicious. Metallic dragons like brass, bronze, stuff like that, like metal. They're typically good. This is a gem dragon. You don't have any particular experience with that. Actually, you know, I'll make either an Arcana or a History check.
Which? Oh, they're both the same. Okay. Oh wait, no, history's better. That's 18.
18. Okay. You maybe know Chisenta has a rough history with dragons, so you've read a few things, but these gem dragons are. Gem dragon is if chromatic dragons are evil aligned, if metallic dragons are good aligned, gem dragons are typically neutral aligned. They don't particularly pick a side. They fall into that neutral chasm in between metallic and chromatic. You know, there's a few other things that fit into that neutral chasm, like dragon turtles, things that are dragons but don't necessarily fit one of the camps. And this thing is just kind of like inspecting you. It doesn't again, like it all, like the very thin light from through the fog kind of refracts in its scales that look like they're made of gemstone amethyst. This like brilliant purple. The purple. This thing looks like with age, it is kind of the purple's almost fading into black, like this. But it's as your eyes adjust to it, it's just this like regal, deep purple. This like rich purple. And yeah, it's just kind of standing, towering above you. It looks like, for frame of reference, it's probably about 85 feet from like the tip of its nose to like the tip of its tail. Like this thing is long, and then it's got like a very muscly body, two giant wings, and again, all of it looks like it's like almost carved or like crafted from amethyst. And it has these deep, like purple red eyes that kind of look down on you ambivalently, and she's just kind of looking at you, kind of pleased with your gift. You almost get this sense. No, sorry. She just looks quite pleased with your offering, and like there's almost like this slight smile on half of her face.
I'll take my leave now.
You just like this, like almost imperceptible if it was something smaller, but since it's so large, kind of like the bow of the head almost, but like because the creature's so large, like you can quite notice it. And yeah, you just start walking away.
Well, obviously I'll be nice and bow back, and then I'll walk away.
Yeah, you do like a polite curtsy, and you just hear like this satisfied, almost chuckle, like a half chuckle, like a huh, but like guttural and draconic, and you don't get a malicious sense at all. You don't get a particularly welcoming sense either. You just get like the interesting kind of sense from it. Yeah, you start walking back through the lake. Anya, do you follow? Yeah, so you guys plod through the lake and get back to the coastline. Samara, I'm guessing you follow, and you just kind of feel like you're being watched. That's all I can say.
I want to kind of like turn back in a kind of sad way, because you know that's my sword.
You don't have another sword on you, do you?
Oh, I do. I have short swords I can use from the drow that I stole. Borrowed.
You do, yeah.
Borrowed.
Borrowed, yeah. So you do have a replacement sword at the least. Yeah, so you'll probably want to try and find a new sword when you get into town, wherever that may be. You just feel. Is there anything else you want to do? Like, is there anything else you want to say, do, like while you're getting the cart ready and you're spurring the horses on?
I'll probably just say, well, it sucks that I'm now swordless, but still got my magic. He's gonna get like a slight depressed giggle to himself.
Samura, you feel you're just kind of clutching the stone. Now that you're leaving this place, you just feel like this relief, like almost like you're feeling the emotions that are in the stone, like whoever's in this stone is feeling. You just feel like this sudden end to like thousands of years of anxiety. You feel like this, like even though you don't yourself do it, you feel as though you've just had like the deepest sigh of relief you've ever experienced in your life. And you also feel just pure malice coming from what is in this stone. Like, this thing wants something, and it's waiting until it's so far away from here that it hopefully never has to... Like, it's almost scared of this place. Like, you get the sense that it's been here forever, and it doesn't like it here, and it doesn't want to be here. And as you're kind of leaving, you just get that sense of relief from it.
Samura won't say anything to the party. He'll just keep it to himself.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
Yeah, that's
it. You feel that sense of being watched until, and you hear like the crunching of buildings underneath heavy footfall until you're out of the fog. Are you guys heading on to Subar? Are you heading northeast?
Which way do you want to go? Do you want to head to Subar to meet my brother, or do you want to head home?
I think we should head home. Back to the cathedral if we can.
Anya?
I think that we should go and meet your brother.
You do know, Eartha, you do remember Caitlin asked you to go and meet your brother. You don't necessarily have to, but she did personally ask that you do.
True.
And if you were to go back, it's probably about, you guys have access to maps. So just for reference, to Subar, at a fast pace, it's another 2.5 days, normal pace 3.5, slow pace 4.5. So if you went back, you're talking about like 4 days back to here, and then further time, it's going to be over a 10-day until you get to Subar. Ramas could be back by then, for all you know. You have no idea, but you're adding a considerable amount of time if you go back first and then to Subar. But balls in your court, really. Just so you know, time wise. So where are you guys going?
Alice, I'll tell you now, because it's left up to you. Jackson says go for Ramus. It's just Samura who wants to go back to the cathedral.
I'm gonna go start heading towards Subar, just because I was asked to. And then I'm gonna turn to Samura and say, Dora, once we get this over, we'll go back, we'll go to the cathedral, get your stuff done, tell the person that you couldn't get your job done. It's not a big deal, I hope. And then we'll go find your lost friends.
Just quickly, Samura, you get the sense that the stone is listening to everything. And when the stone realizes you're planning on passing back through, it can't do anything. It can't fight you at all. It just panics. It's like, oh god. Like, you feel like this, like, it's like returning to the scene of the crime. Like, this thing like panics almost. It's like, okay. You just get like, you don't hear that. That's just you get that throbbing, like, kind of.
Can I?
From it.
If I'm feeling that, without like letting it onto the rest, can I think to myself and try and while thinking to myself, try and make it so the stone knows I'm thinking this, And Summerall like saying his head, why shouldn't I go back through and hand you to my friend? What can you offer me to stop me doing this? And like try and like, yeah, it's some sort of like blackmail to the guy.
Make an intelligence check in general, just because like not necessarily related, but just
unnatural 20.
Not like, because obviously you could still say exactly that in like an attempt to intimidate, an attempt to threaten, but that amethyst dragon, who was presumably the guardian, did not want that stone removed, and so it's kind of like you get this insinuation that it's like stealing something from someone's house and then returning to the house, which I guess is kind of like what you're planning on doing with the keys, but with the key in Baldur's Gate. But it's kind of, you get that feeling like you're going to be passing back through that territory, and it just hopes she doesn't realize he's gone in the interim.
Yeah, Samurai's still going to say it to try and like intimidate the stone to try and give Samurai more power or like more magical knowledge.
Make an intimidation check, but you still have no idea whether any of this is actually going through or not.
18.
You say that in your head, and you say it with that tone. You say it in the way you would want to say it, in an intimidating fashion. And you don't know if it went through, but you know if it did, you think it gets the message. But you don't get a response. And yeah. I'm
gonna start saying to Ufa in like quite a confident way, even though like Samurai isn't actually planning on it, but like in a quite confident way. Yeah, definitely after we go see your brother, we should definitely head straight back through the path, through the fog and everything. You might see your friendly dragon again.
Never did get its name.
I was waiting for you to ask, but no one did, so...
I'm not going to be honest, in my head, it was just pure panic. Something that size is not something you ask its name. Something that size is something you leave.
It might have the highest challenge rating of anything you might ever face. So, yeah. But with that there, you kind of pushing that, and you guys heading towards Subar will end there for this week.